Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1. We always have to test these ones and these twos. That's what we need to do. Why is it impossible to find footage of the debate? Going on like One India News Network on a 3,000 subscriber YouTube channel to watch this.
Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Lee, and Zohran will hit the stage tonight for their final debate in the race for New York City mayor. And it's happening at LaGuardia Community College in Long Island City.
All right, that's where we kick things off with Fox 5's Morgan McKay. Morgan,
how's it going?
What's the mood out there tonight?
I just need to see like the reaction, and might as well let Fox News introduce the debate to us.
Hey, Steve, Natasha, it's hard to hear you guys out here. There's a lot of noise. We are less than 2 hours away from the start of the debate, and campaign supporters are out in full force. Behind me, you can see Curtis Lee.
Of course, like Fox 5. I'm not even saying this is Fox 5 New York. Fox has a bunch of local news outlets that don't have as much of a right-wing tilt to them as the national organization. But of course they find like the 50 Sliwa supporters that are there, and they record right in front of them.
Campaign, they are out here. They've been out here since we arrived at around 2:30, 3 p.m. and they have been lining up, and you can see the signs attacking Andrew Cuomo behind me. Then we have also over here, we have Andrew Cuomo's camp. I'm gonna get out of the way for my photographer here.
It is also hilarious how the Sliwa supporters are holding up anti-Cuomo ads. It's just like, I swear that this group, the people that support Sliwa and Sliwa himself, are in it just to fuck over Cuomo, just to stick one last middle finger up at him as he goes unquietly into that good night. Like, they fucking hate him so much. It's hilarious.
And you can see the signs attacking Andrew Cuomo behind me. Then we have also over here, we have Andrew Cuomo's camp. I'm gonna get out of the way for my photographer here. Andrew Cuomo supporters, they are out. They've also been out here for a while. We're not sure when Cuomo is going to be arriving. We know that Sliwa is going to be arriving at around 5:45, 6 o'clock. We're not sure yet for Andrew Cuomo. Then over here, we've got Zohran supporters. They stretches down the block. It's hard to see a little bit from here, but a lot of the same union supporters are out here supporting Mamdani again today. And we're hearing from Mamdani's campaign that he's going to be arriving by bus at around 5:45 as well. Steve, Natasha?
Morgan, I know it's a little hard to hear us, but what are you expecting from all three candidates when they get on the debate stage tonight?
So for Andrew Cuomo, he says that it's going to be really his last time to reach just a...
Goddamn, Vix, just like keep it in your pants, bro. Maybe you should show up at one of these events next time. You could get an interview with her.
Wide group of voters. He says that his messaging is going to be the same as it was during the last debate. He's going to be focusing on Mamdani's inexperience, and he's going to be trying to persuade Republican voters to vote for him rather than for Sliwa. Now, for Sliwa, he's really going to be out there, he says, trying to show that he is a viable candidate, that Democratic votes could be split between Cuomo and Mamdani, and that he is a person who can reach and who loves New York City. So
I do appreciate the optimism from Sliwa. Well, the Democrat vote is going to be split between Zohran and Cuomo. That gives me an opportunity. He's like Frank Reynolds, and then I worm right in there.
He says he's going to be focusing his attacks on both candidates. And for Mamdani, his strategy also is somewhat similar to what was last week. He's a front runner. He pretty much, again, just can't really mess up in a big way. But he says that he's going to be focusing really on his messaging and his platforms rather than the attacks being thrown at him.
Okay, fair enough. This is what I wanted to see. Before we get into the debate, because I think the debate's no longer live, I think it's over. I wanted to see this. Emily Austin. Okay, we need to look this up. I saw this today, and I haven't looked into it at all, but I'm so excited to look at it with you guys. Emily Austin. Andrew Cuomo joins the Emily Austin show. So wait, she's just a conservative then, right? She's on Fox News?
From courtside to Capitol Hill, crossing boundaries and borders, if it's trending, I'm talking about it. This is the
If it's trending, I'm talking about it. Okay.
New York City.
Copyrighted music, come on.
To make space
Oh yeah, wait, was she the one that did the debate with Hassan on Piers Morgan? And now that I'm seeing this necklace, I kind of remember her more.
for Cuomo to overtake Mamdani. Now, I know he's not the ideal candidate, but you need to put people over party. At this point, I have to believe Mamdani's paying you to stay in this election because there's no path to victory. According to Polymarket, Sliwa is at less than 1%. And I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. He even still thinks there's a chance. Now look, I'm as conservative as it gets. I love people who fight for our values, and Sliwa might be a great guy. In fact, I've met him. He's a wonderful guy. But he will not win this election. And if Republicans keep splitting votes, you are handing the city to Mamdani on a silver platter. Now, I'll be honest. I was reluctant to meet with Andrew Cuomo. I was not a big fan of him, not politically, not personally, and the media doesn't do him nicely. But I spent a lot of time.
But the way he groped me, that really turned me on him. I was not a big fan of meeting with him. His politics are bad. He's an unlikable person, and he gropes women. I was not looking forward to that. But then I met him, and it was a magical experience, needless to say. And yes, Sliwa, the Republican. Aren't you a Republican? How does she have less subscribers than me? Whatever. Sliwa talked with Sliwa, the Republican that I assumed she was a Republican, needs to drop out, right?
With him.
Now Republicans are like, the Republicans need to drop out so that the leftist doesn't get in.
I saw his personality beyond the suit.
Like we need to just pause and be like, this is classic, right? This is the conservatives and the liberals teaming up to beat a leftist candidate. This is the epitome of just class consciousness, understanding that this is a person that's actually going to challenge the status quo, challenge billionaires that are making their billions in New York City, and the people that serve that status quo, that serve the billionaire class, are uniting in order to defeat this person. That's what you're seeing here. Also, like, okay, I guess it's not the Star of David in every state, but that's still weird. Why are there, I guess it's like one star for every state, whatever. Charlie Kirk on her computer, Freedom. I guess her laptop brand is the Freedom brand.
And he's actually very likable once you sit down with him. Also, today, I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl,
this is why she deserves more subscribers. She deserves more subscribers. Like, sure, it sounds like she's reading off a script at gunpoint and she's in a hostage video. Sure, it looks like her set is a SNL stereotype of a right-wing podcaster. Sure, she's supporting a genocidal regime and completely listless and lifeless in that support of the regime. But it's shit like this. This is why you need to have more subscribers. Emily Austin, have your fucking name on your cup. What the? Okay. She has her name on her cup. She has her name on a left-handed boxing glove in the back corner. She's like, I can box you with one hand. I can beat up people with only one boxing glove. That's all I need. Come on, you're lacking. You need to have your name on this Adidas soccer ball behind you too.
for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you. But in fact, and he's
Oh man, I thought this was going to be more fun. She's just so boring to listen to.
actually very likable once you sit down with him. Also, today, I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you. But in fact, let's hear from Andrew himself. Enough of me. For those who don't know,
Enough of me. She's so humble too. She's so humble.
what does a Manhattan, God forbid, under Mamdani look like?
Well, nobody really knows because it would be a socialist New York, and we've never had a socialist New York.
Dude, just saying. This person has less than 2,000 subscribers, and she's meeting with Andrew Cuomo. Like, sure, Zohran Mamdani is a meeting with a lot of different people too, but he has less than 2,000 subscribers. She's meeting with this guy, and you're like, yeah, what about her politics lets her get so easily plugged into characters in politics that have institutional backing? How is she able to have access to all of these people so easily? It's like, oh, maybe the pro-Israel medallion she's wearing around her neck is an indicator of that. And yes, I'm sorry, like, I know people are like, well, that's a Jewish symbol. Well, it is a Jewish symbol, and it has been co-opted to be a pro-Israel symbol. If you have an issue with that, take issue with the Zionists that insist that Israel is representative of Jewish people.
We're the financial capital of the country and of the world. It would have less police. It would have fewer businesses.
It wouldn't have less police. It would not have more police, which is what Cuomo wants.
Because he would raise taxes and everybody would be on I-95 driving down to Florida. So nothing good.
Okay, and for those who think defund the police is a good thing, what does a Manhattan without police look like, and what is your stance on defund the police?
Defund the police, one of the main issues we have is safety. And New Yorkers don't feel safe, especially in the subways. Why? We have cut the police to the lowest level in modern history. That's what defund the police did. They took a big...
It's like, ever since I lost the boxing glove from my right hand, I felt like a completely defenseless in the subway system. You really need to have those. You really need to have both of those gloves in order to defend yourself in New York subways.
$1 billion out of the budget, drop the force. I want to add 5,000 cops, which gets it back to a full force, which is where we were under Mayor Dinkins, Mayor Giuliani, and it'll be safer.
Now, a lot of people are really happy about the fact that he's promising freezing rent and groceries regulated by the government and free busing, but what does that really mean?
Groceries are already regulated by the government. He wants government-run grocery stores.
Yeah.
Freezing rent and grocery regulation? What does that mean? Oh, I wonder what could that possibly mean? Well, he means that he takes everyone's rent money and he throws it outside in the middle of winter. That's what he means when he says freeze the rent. What the fuck do you mean? What do you think it means, freeze the rent? Freeze the rent means he wants to increase the rent by 3 times. Because freeze is actually, he just has a speech impediment. And when he says freeze, it actually means threes. He wants to triple your rent. That's what it means.
Live a little bit, you learn that there is no free lunch. Nothing is free.
Yeah.
And you're going to wind up paying sooner or later. Free rent means technically free rent for about 25% of the people in the city for a period of time. And then they wind up paying a very high increase to make up for it. Meanwhile, 75% of the people, it means nothing.
And the free busing, the groceries.
He didn't say free rent. He said freeze rent. Oh my God. Can he actually just not hear?
Regulated by the government. That's...
Dude, also look at this shit. These people are standing in the middle of a city, or a middle of a city block. I'm assuming it's New York City. They're standing there. No one is even looking at them. They're just like, people are just strolling past, ignoring them. They don't give a fuck about Cuomo. For
about 25% of the people in the city for a period of time, and then they wind up paying a very high increase to make up for it. Meanwhile, 75% of the people, it means nothing.
And the free busing, the groceries regulated by the government. That's communism.
Yeah. Free buses means, first of all, half the people don't pay the fares in the buses now anyway. But free buses, it's been done before. What happens is
so if half the people are just like stealing bus rides anyway, then wouldn't it be a good idea to make them free?
Homeless wind up living in the buses because they can't.
Yeah, Viz, I agree. That's just New York. But the thing is, do you remember when Zohran released that video of him trying to record videos? And he couldn't get through a recording because everyone was coming up to him. Like every 5 minutes he had someone, or like less than every 5 minutes, every minute someone would come up to him and be like, oh yeah, Zohran, I've seen you like go for mayor. Like, That's not, he's a politician running to be the mayor of the city. You would expect people to want to talk to the person, right? No one wants to talk to him. And yeah, Biva 11, like, I agree. Maybe they just don't want to get too close to the guy who's most famous for groping his female employees. I wouldn't want to get close to him either. Look at these fucking hands. How do his hands look like he just got out of a bathtub that he was in for over an hour? He's such a gross man.
But free buses, it's been done before. What happens is the homeless.
Hey, thank you for becoming a channel member, Squilly Liz. Cool name. Also, if you want to become a channel member as well, please consider joining the channel. It's only 99 cents. Your name gets to be in green in chat. That's pretty cool. And it makes me feel good. So that's also fun.
Wind up living in the buses because they can't be kicked off and they don't pay to get on. So they become mobile homeless shelters. It makes no sense.
And you know I had to stick
By the way, what he's saying about like homeless people would live on buses, that's also true for libraries. Like, that is an argument against any kind of free public space, like a shared public space that people should have access to. That is not a world that I want to live in. I don't want to live in a world where you have to pay to go to use a library, or like parks are now chained off because they don't want homeless people to live on parks. That is just such a dystopian argument from Andrew Cuomo. And to see that it carries any kind of water is super disheartening. But yeah, I have to say, as much as I disagree with Emily Austin, she is either very dumb or very brave to stand that close to Cuomo to interview him. You can see that the interview was like less than 2 minutes long. Oh wait, I guess it continues. And that's probably because she wanted to cut it short. Oh, the rest is like rapid fire joking section. Let's just see Emily Austin eat pizza, and then we'll watch the actual debate.
A vodka slice. More. Shouldn't have done it in that order. Now we're gonna.
You know you are not an entertaining person when you have to include an emoji for a reaction shot that you're doing. She's like, I can't emote enough because my lip filler and my Botox makes my face too stiff to actually be emotional on camera. So I'm just going to use an emoji, an animation of an emoji, to show how delicious this pizza is.
And do a margarita. I see who was talking about. It looks like a normal slice of pizza, but it's so saturated in flavor. Like, I thought I would like the vodka one more, but they're so good. All right, Gabby's Pizza. I'll be back.
I thought I'd like the vodka one more because I thought it would get me buzzed, but I guess I'm going to have to do that when I get home. Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. Hot Girls for Cuomo. If you want to join this burgeoning new network, this grassroots movement, because I know everyone in my chat, whether you're you're AFAB, assigned male at birth, or you're a they, them, non-binary, themperor. Like, I know you all could completely fit this description. So why don't you go send Emily Austin a message? Why don't you join this network? Give her a few more subscribers. Just kidding. Don't do that. Fuck her. Okay. Let's watch this actual debate now. Let's get into it. So I don't know if this is the correct place to do it. I found this on NY1 with less than 5,000 subs. But sure, fuck it, let's go into it. Wait, are we getting pre-debate interviews from them? Let's slow roll this. Let's ease ourselves.
To get humans to you are that
community is being talked about here.
I won't just campaign on a message of affordability. I'll actually...
Also, Emily Austin used Zohran's font for the Andrew Cuomo thing. Like, why would she do that?
deliver it.
He is a socialist on the Democratic line. I'm a Democrat on an independent line.
Why does he look so greasy there? Why does Cuomo look so greasy there? Also, bringing up the fact that you've been replaced by your party isn't a good line. You can't, like, I don't think it's a winning strategy to say that Zohran is a socialist, but he got chosen by the Democrats. I'm a fucking loser. I lost to him already. And now I'm running as an independent. That's not a good fucking line, dude. That's not a good thing to campaign on, that you lost to him.
The Democratic line. I'm a Democrat on an independent line.
I'm the only candidate who says we've got to, across the board, cut the taxes.
I'm not a con man. I'm not a phony.
This is a man who led the state of New York for more than a decade, couldn't name a single mosque.
Zohran, Mamdani, and Cuomo are like two peas in a pod.
Mamdani is the existential threat. If you believe that, you should defer to the strongest candidate.
Cuomo should just run a better campaign. He spends more time speaking about other candidates than he does about New Yorkers and the struggles they're facing.
I'm not going anywhere.
Trump is like Andrew Cuomo.
Dude, this is a hyped trailer.
Beholden to billionaires and oligarchs.
The billionaires can conspire.
Is this Sliwa's wife? Or is this just like a really dedicated fan or something that's always behind him?
To pick their candidate. They failed with Cuomo the first time.
It's really between Cuomo.
Dude, just notice how Zohran always has a crowd of people behind him. Sliwa has that one woman behind him. And Cuomo has no one behind him except for like 2 or 3 security guards that look like they can't wait for this election to be over so they can go and guard someone more likable, I guess.
And Mamdani, you're not going to throw your vote away on Curtis Sliwa.
When I'm sworn in on January 1st at 20.
Dude, Sliwa actually seems like a grandpa that would be kind of fun to hang out with. He seems like a grandpa that's like, I know he's a little bit racist, a little bit crazy, and has screwed up politics, but he'd still be fun to spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with.
2026, we bring back law and order.
We have to build more housing. We need those 500,000 units. We need them quickly.
There is no ability for us to deliver a rent freeze or universal child care or fast and free buses if we are not willing to say that this is the bare minimum this city deserves.
Good evening and welcome to New York One's special coverage of tonight's debate for mayor. I'm your host, Bobby Kuza. We are now less than 30 minutes away from the start.
All right, we'll skip to the start. Bobby Kuza. Oh, we're doing on the street interviews? Man on the street interviews? I'd be down for that. Ray Romano's interviewing.
For Errol Lewis, moderator cut someone off. That's one of the bingo spots here. I've been talking to voters, a lot of Mamdani voters here. Affordability has been such a key issue for a lot of voters, but we have this gentleman right here, Mr. Andrew Beard, a retired firefighter and one of the few undecided voters here in New York. Mr. Beard, thank you so much for speaking with New York One. We were talking
Bro, undecided voters are hilarious. Come on, I can't wait to hear this.
earlier. Why has this been such a tough decision on who to vote for?
Oh, well, that's in itself a tough question. Why is
He's asking you why it's a tough decision for who you're voting for, and he's like, I can't explain why it's a tough decision. That just means, like, look, I'm sure this person's a really nice guy. He's a firefighter. He's a contributing member of society. But he has no critical thinking skills, or at least he doesn't apply them to politics, because if you can't answer why you're having trouble deciding between 2 candidates, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And let's be honest, if he had criteria to determine which candidate he's going to pick, he wouldn't be undecided. He just hasn't given any thought to this. And let's be honest, man, media loves an undecided voter. And to people in an election cycle, in an environment that is like gearing up towards an election, the undecided voter is kind of king. They get babied. It's like when you have when you start manifesting symptoms of a pregnancy and to get attention, right? Maybe your wife is pregnant or something, and you start, oh, I'm feeling a little faint. I'm having hunger pangs too. gives you attention. You become a special little snowflake. Oh, I'm an undecided voter. How come everyone's going to get down on their knees and try to get me to vote for them? You have to earn my vote. You're just a fucking moron, dude. But maybe I'm biting his head off a little bit too quickly. Let's see what he actually has to say.
It's so tough. We're living in there's so many candidates. First of all, a lot of the candidates are coming with questionable paths. When I say paths, I mean their paths are questionable. And there's a lot of controversy about different things that they've been involved in. I remember when the pandemic hit, how that was handled. Right now we're in a crisis where our White House, if you will, is threatening to cut funds to the city if we elect certain people, which I think is totally abominable.
So the city's at a precarious time for you in this election.
I would put it that way. It is precarious, and the other thing too is longevity. I like to know a little bit about candidates that I vote for.
Bro, this is my fucking grandparents. They're in Toronto. They're like a few years ago, they're like, Doug Ford, the guy who caught doing cocaine, is running for election again, and I think I'm gonna vote for them. I'm like, why? Why are you voting for the guy who's like a completely corrupt drug addict? And they're like, well, at least we know that he's a corrupt drug addict. It's like, we're gonna vote for the person we know. Like, it's such an old person thing, right? To just automatically be biased against the new up-and-coming candidate.
And I do know a little bit about these candidates, but I can't...
Oh, you're in Toronto? Hey, well, maybe the next time I go see them. I don't know if I'm going while Trump is in office, but maybe the next time I go visit them, could do an event there or something now. Probably not, but that's cool. Love the Canadians in chat.
At this time, because their pasts are questionable.
And what are you looking for in this debate to learn about the candidates, and how will that help you ultimately land on a decision?
All right, I sat in a few of these, what you might not debates, but I've had a few candidates had opportunities to listen to a lot of their promises, and basically they're all promising the same thing. One is saying, I'm the one for that, I'm the one that can handle Trump, I'm the one that's going to provide better housing, better employment, and cheaper prices, and,
all things you care about.
All the things that I care about, and it's not just me, the city.
Oh, he was doing crack. I'm sorry. I defamed Doug Ford.
Basically really needs a lot of medical facilities, doctors, and healthcare, education. I mean, the whole show.
Mr. Beer, thank you so much. I just want to introduce some voters we spoke to earlier. You're going to hear from another undecided voter and a Mamdani voter.
He fucking cuts the guy off. So basically, he's like, Cuomo killed a lot of people in COVID, and Mamdani, what did Mamdani do? He's going to resist Donald Trump. Like, let's just be honest. Saying that, oh God. Saying that Trump is going to be mad if Mamdani gets into office is not a bad thing. Like, would you rather have the guy who Trump wants to win? Like, you want the guy that Trump has leverage over becoming the mayor of your city? Because that's what you have right now. You have Eric Adams being leveraged by Donald Trump and doing the bidding of the Trump administration. If you resist the Trump administration, if you do not agree with what they're doing, then you should vote for Zohran Mamdani.
The issues they say are driving the decision in the race.
Do you plan to vote, and have you decided on a candidate?
So I do plan on voting. I'm here basically to get a lot more information that I have already gathered on my own. It's important for me to, make informed decisions. So the intention is to listen to all the candidates.
Bro, they've literally had 2 debates already. Like, okay, the 3rd debate is gonna be what's the difference maker for you?
Hear what they have to say and get an idea of how I want to vote. But I am registered to vote and I do plan on voting.
Do you know who you're voting for? Are you deciding?
I have decided who I voted for. I kind of switched sides, and I wanted to come to this debate because I saw the first one, but then I decided to come to this one to make up my mind totally. But I think I know who I'm voting for.
Don't leave us in suspense. I didn't even kill him.
Checking with voters during the debate and after. We'll bring you more commentary from here, the Prospect Lefferts Garden, from this watch party for the New York 1 debate. Bobby, I'll send it back to you.
Is that guy like Ray Romano's son? He looks so much like him. Okay. Let's skip through some of the analysis and let's get into the debate. Let's do it. Oh, it's quite a bit louder. Okay, I'll turn it down.
She's been trying to get corruption out of one police plaza.
Yeah. Although even if she's offered the job, we don't know if she'll want to accept it.
Very true. Very true.
Who's going to ask her to stay on does not mean that she is going to accept that offer. All right.
Chat, like if I have something in my teeth, you're not going to tell me. If my fly's down, you're not going to tell me. I need people to correct me on this shit. I have to wait till Kate shows up, my loyal and hardworking editor. By the way, if you guys want to help me feed Kate, you need to join the channel. That's your job throughout this video. You need to join. It's only 99 cents. Your name will be in green, and you'll help me give her 3 cans of soup instead of 2 cans of soup this month. That's what we're going for. That's the true socialism. How many cans of soup we were able to split amongst each other.
That's going to do it for tonight's pre-debate special coverage. We are just moments away from the start of the final debate for mayor. You can head to the link on your screen. That's where our political team will be live blogging the best moments of the debate, and you can join the conversation on social media using the hashtag NY1Debate. And after the debate, keep it right here on New York 1. As soon as the debate wraps up at 8:30, we will have a post-debate special with reaction and analysis and some special guests. Now here is our moderators, Errol Lewis, Brian Lair, and Katie Honan with
I thought he was going to be a moderator, or these a host.
Candidates at LaGuardia Community College in Queens.
Man, I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm really slow rolling this, but I wanted to cover the last debate because there were so many epic moments from that, and my favorite moment was the moderator saying to Zohran, why, she's like, you say that you didn't call for Hamas to disarm, and you said that you don't really care about that. And as long as everyone's following international law, that's good for you, and you don't have much more to say than that. But how would you create a lasting peace in the Middle East? And I'm just like, I'm like, if I was asked that question, I would stop. I'd be like, did you seriously just ask me how to create a lasting peace in the Middle East? Like, it was so fucking funny. Yeah, do you condemn Hassan Piker? Is that going to be a question from the interviewers? Recently, Hassan Piker was revealed to have shocked his Tibetan Mastiff dog in his room in order to keep her in frame. Do you condemn that? And is Hassan Piker a terrorist? Specifically, terrorizing one canine that's in his bedroom. This music better not be copyrighted. Here we go.
Good evening. Welcome to the final general election debate in the race for mayor of New York City. I'm Errol Lewis, political anchor here at Spectrum News New York 1, and we're coming to you live from the LaGuardia Performing Arts Center at LaGuardia Community College in Queens. Over the next 90 minutes, you're going to hear from the leading mayoral candidates about the biggest issues in New York, including the cost of living, the education crisis, and public safety. I'm joined tonight by Katie Honan of the news organization The City and Brian Lehrer of WNYC Radio and Gothamist.
Tonight's debate is brought to you by the New York City Campaign Finance Board, the city agency that administers the public matching funds program. It's also sponsored by Spectrum News New York 1, WNYC Gothamist, and the news site The City, and Spectrum Noticias, and our co-sponsors, the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY, the Center for New York City and State Law at New York Law School, the Museum of the City of New York, and John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
All right, we get it.
Radio, NYC. It's in Spanish on Spectrum Noticias and YouTube.
The candidates joining us tonight have met a fundraising threshold established by the Campaign Finance Board. The seat is currently held by Eric Adams, who has decided not to run for re-election. In alphabetical order, Andrew Cuomo is a former governor of New York running on an independent line.
Alphabetical,
Zohran
biased
Mamdani
against
is the
Zohran.
Democratic nominee, representing parts of Queens in the state assembly since 2021. And Curtis Sliwa is the Republican nominee and the founder of the Guardian Angels.
Now for the rules.
Oh shit,
Right
sorry.
now have been agreed to by...
Before we get into this, I just... Okay, so if you don't know what the Guardian Angels are, it's a vigilante group that like beat people up on the subway and in the name of keeping the peace. And no, that's what I was saying. I was just thinking that he looked like Andrew Klavan. I just forgot the name. I was gonna say, does he look like that guy from the Daily Wire? Always Sunny, Guardian Angels. Like this is the Guardian Angels, right? Let's see. Is there a video of it? Okay, fucking stupid bullshit music. Like this is the group that Curtis Sliwa founded as immortalized in the parody of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they just beat up like random homeless people they see on the streets. Anyway, that's like a weird fan edit.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for the ride. Quick question, what time are you picking us up, okay?
No. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, well, we're screwed.
No, D, relax, okay? So we are in a lower socioeconomic African-American neighborhood.
Yes, we are, but that's okay.
We're
That's
Guardian
fine.
Angels.
You're
We are tough.
We're tough.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Stop doing
Guardian
that. We're
Angels,
tough. We're
right?
Guardian Angels.
Okay.
We are blind to this kind of
Yes,
thing.
okay.
We can do this.
We are gonna make these streets safe.
We are gonna make these
and
streets
everything is good. Okay, that was a gunshot. All right, let's get out of here as quickly as possible.
We're gonna die here today.
Okay, where's the bus stop?
Let's find a guy and figure out where the bus stop
He seems
is.
safe. Let's ask him.
He seems nice.
Okay.
I feel like I should pause this because it might be copyrighted, but I need to get to the end of this clip now.
Excuse me, sir.
Like, this guy seems nice. Oh, it's the other guy.
Excuse me, sir. Oh, thank God we found you. We are in a very rough neighborhood and we are lost.
Yes, could you please direct us to the nearest bus stop?
Yeah, so those are the Guardian Angels. Pretty fucking good. Dude, it's just so, like, it's such a character. Like, this is straight out of an anime. You have the old corrupt sexual molester, the younger guy that actually wants to make things popular, or wants to make like popular things that are also good. A reality, and just wants to help people. He's like the anime protagonist. Then you have the fucking guy that like started a gang that just beats up random people. There was also the infamous clip that happened a few years ago where he was talking to Sean Hannity, and as he's talking, his gang members like just find a random Mexican in a grocery store, like, and they're like, oh yeah, we're beating up this illegal immigrant.
Sliwa is the Republican nominee and the founder of the Guardian Angels.
Now for the rules. The rules you see on your screen right now have been agreed to by all of the candidates. Each candidate will deliver an opening statement of up to 45 seconds.
Cross-examination.
Answers to our questions will generally be limited to 60 seconds with a chance for rebuttals. Candidates will have an opportunity to ask one opponent one question in our cross-examination round. So let's begin. This will be the last time all three candidates will be together on stage. The next mayor will be sworn into office 71 days from now on January 1st, 2026. He will inherit a city with an affordability crisis, a tense relationship with the federal government, and millions of New Yorkers who very likely did not support him. Let's begin our debate with your opening statements to viewers. You have 45 seconds. The order was determined by a random drawing on live television this morning, and we'll begin with Curtis Sliwa. Good evening.
Thank you. It's us versus them. It's us versus the insiders and the billionaires.
Okay, at least he didn't say, like, the Jews and the immigrants. Although, I guess the insiders is questionable. But I don't know. Curtis Sliwa, I haven't seen any anti-Semitic stuff from him. It just seems like the old style of racist where he's like, yeah, we gotta, like, beat up people that look different than us to protect the streets, right? But at least now he's taking a more populist tact.
It's us versus Cuomo. It's us versus Zohran. This is a campaign,
Okay,
not
you did say the insiders and the millionaires. I don't think Zohran really fits that category.
about power. This is a campaign about you, the people. And I know many of you hardworking New Yorkers, you tell me you've been pushed aside, you've been silenced. These are the people that have all the money, all the connections. They've made their backroom deals, but we have something more important. We have you, the people. And we're not going to be silenced anymore. We're going to fight. Tonight, I want you to look at the content of my policies, to know that I've served this city for more than 50 years, the city that I love. And I'm going to share with you my vision to make New York City safer again, to make New York City more affordable again, and where everybody once again can live the American dream.
Thank you. Next is Andrew Cuomo. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. New York's first, thank you to the moderators. Thank you all for being here. And go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. I hope we get an update on the score. New York is
Come on. You don't care about, what is that, baseball? I don't even fucking know.
the greatest city
His wife is Jewish? Okay, well, there you go.
on the globe. But we are at a pivotal moment. And the voters are going to have to decide in this election what candidate has the plan to save this city and what candidate can get it done, not just talk about it. My main opponent has no new ideas. He has no new plan. It's Bill de Blasio rehash, and we know how that turned out. He's never run anything, managed anything. He's never had a real job. I will hire 5,000 new police, build 500,000 new units. I will cut taxes. I will grow jobs.
Oh, it's basketball? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
And I will end this hate-mongering and division that is tearing this city apart, because that's not who we are.
The hate mongering, like describing the Muslim candidate as an anti-Semite, is that the hate mongering you're talking about?
As a New Yorker, as New Yorkers. You know I can make change. You know I can make government work. I've done it before. I'll be ready on day one.
Okay, thank you. Next is Zohran Mamdani. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in. I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are 3 candidates on this stage, you will hear only 2 messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's all that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision.
To be fair to Curtis Sliwa, I haven't really heard him pleading with Cuomo to drop out. That's not really something that I've heard Sliwa really do. That's not like a tactic that he's had. But, you know, I'm sure that he wouldn't mind it. And he has, like, said something like that in the past. Oh, God, I'm going to fucking die to these guys. Okay, continue.
For the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things.
I left.
What the heck? What just happened? Video just like lost a ton of time to it.
Which he changed.
They just cut out the beginning of it. Hey, interesting. So they just cut off the beginning part of it?
Opponent, one question in our cross-examination.
Save the city, and what candidate can get it done, not just talk about it. My main opponent has no new ideas. He has no new plan. It's Bill de Blasio rehash, and we know how that turned out. He's never run anything, managed anything. He's never had a real job. I will hire 5,000 new police, build 500,000 new units. I will cut taxes. I will grow jobs, and I will end this hate-mongering and division that is tearing this city apart, because that's not who we are as a New Yorker.
Like what he's just describing is more austerity politics, more police, less taxes. And he says we're going to build new jobs and like create more housing, but he was the governor of New York, and he governed over an affordability crisis for housing. So yeah, he doesn't have a track record on this. Meanwhile, like, less taxes, that's great, and my money can go to like the rising food prices now, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna pay like $500 less taxes. That's gonna be what, like 3 nights out at a nice restaurant. Meanwhile, Zohran Mamdani is offering tangible services that the government would provide for people. He'd offer like what would people rather have? A freeze in their rent or a slight reduction in their taxes from Cuomo? Also, when Zohran says, I'm going to raise taxes on the 1%. You don't hear Cuomo say that. That's an extremely popular policy. But whenever Zohran does say, I'm going to raise taxes on the 1%, everyone's like, well, you don't control taxes. So where is it? Where are all of those people? Where's the chorus of people saying that the mayor of New York doesn't control taxes when Cuomo says he's going to lower taxes? Like, of course, it's a complete double standard, but it's like these are the same old tired policies that lost people like you elections. Like, Americans don't want this shit anymore. They want the rich to pay their fair share, and if that means raising taxes on that, then that's what they're going to vote for.
Yorkers. You know I can make change. You know I can make government work. I've done it before. I'll be ready on day one.
Okay, thank you. Next is Zohran Mamdani. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to cut taxes for the billionaires.
moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in.
Like, I hope Zohran might bring that up. He's like, I'm the one that's going to cut taxes. Zohran's like, yeah, he's going to cut taxes for the billionaires that wanted him to run against me as an independent. I beat him once before. The billionaires panicked and they forced his independent run, and now I'm going to beat him again with the help of the actual working class voters that run this city.
I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are 3 candidates on this stage, you will hear only 2 messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's all that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision for the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things to make you feel that this should keep you up at night. But I've been spending the last year listening to New Yorkers, and I know what actually keeps you up. It's whether or not you can afford to live a safe and dignified life in this city. I have plans for our future. My opponents only have fear.
Thank you very much, candidates.
Damn,
Let's
bro.
start tonight with some breaking news that happened yesterday afternoon when federal agents descended on Canal Street, arresting street vendors who have been selling counterfeit designer merchandise for as long as any of us can remember. This is the first time we've seen major federal law enforcement activity in the city outside of arrests at Immigration Court in Lower Manhattan. And some critics are now ringing an alarm bell, calling it a dangerous and unprecedented use of federal agents in New York City. Others say that the vendors were a major quality of life problem in the neighborhood that the NYPD had ignored. So the candidate, I'll ask each of you to respond to this. How should the mayor and the NYPD have handled both the presence of the street vendors and then the federal action? We'll start with you, Mr. Cuomo.
Once again, if it's going to be like, oh, the police need to clear this up, you don't need federal agents to blackbag these people and take them to God knows where.
I've had a lot of dealings with President Trump, and there's only one way to deal with him. He puts his finger in your chest, and you have to put your finger right back in his chest. I've actually had this.
Well, yeah, we know Cuomo has a history of touching people's chests.
Situation with ICE interfering in New York before. It was upstate New York where ICE just showed up and started to take action. And I called the president and I went down to the White House and I said, that doesn't work in New York. You don't send ICE in without coordinating with our police. It's not smart, it's duplicative, and it's dangerous. We don't need ICE to do quality of life crimes. We don't need them to worry about illegal vendors. That's a basic policing function for NYPD, Consumer Affairs, etc. I would have called the president and I would have said, look, you're way out of bounds, they're way out of bounds, call them back.
Really, dude, really? You would have called the president to tell him to take ICE agents out of New York? That's not going to work. What we're seeing in Chicago is that you need to pass laws to ban ICE and federal agents from municipal property. You need to put in place rules that can be enforced by your own police officers, by your own powerful force. That's what you need to do. You can't call the president because he's the one, he wants people, like, he's not gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, the Democrat that I sent my Gestapo to is mad that I sent them there. Let's pull them out because they detained street vendors. First of all, the president's not even in charge of ICE, it's Stephen Miller. And second of all, the people that are sending ICE there are in favor of that. They want black and brown people to live in fear. Even if they're American citizens, they're going to get detained, they're going to get racially profiled, and then they're going to basically just be like brutalized and feel like that America is no longer a place for them to exist in. That's the goal of white supremacists like Trump and like Stephen Miller. So the fact, like Cuomo, oh, I'm going to call the president and appeal to his good nature, absolutely delusional. I mean, I really do think that it's willful, or I don't know, like on purpose. This delusion is on purpose, and he's just saying that he's going to, like, because this is not resistance. Calling the president, I'm going to pen a strongly worded letter to the president and have him know that I'm not happy with his conduct. Then he's going to release an AI video of you getting like beaten up by ICE agents, which sounds like a joke, but that is probably in the future, where like I can easily see a video of Zohran getting beaten up by ICE agents being posted on President Trump's official X account or whatever the fuck he tweets on. Like, it seems to me like Cuomo is just bullshitting this answer here in order to, I don't know, like run cover for the administration. Oh, these people are sensible people. These people will respond to me, like resisting them through civil disobedience or passing laws to inhibit ICE. That's not the way forward. There is a pathway forward of ICE working with the police officers. No, there's not. ICE needs to be abolished. And the fact that you can't call for ICE to be abolished is a major issue, dude. Like, that's a major issue. ICE should not be involved in crimes whatsoever. If people are here in the country illegally, then, you know, first of all, I don't think that's a big issue. I think it's an issue with paperwork, and it can be fixed through basically accountants, like glorified accountants fixing people's paperwork. You don't need ICE to detain people just because they don't have the proper paperwork for being in the country. That's absolutely ridiculous. But like, if there are transnational gangs, which there's not a lot of evidence of that being a huge issue in America, but to the extent that there are, the police can take care of it. We have the DEA. You don't need ICE. They're redundant. And then the whole purpose of ICE is to carry out a white supremacist policy from this president. Like, Oh my God. It's a completely redundant organization that only serves white supremacists. And the fact that Cuomo is pretending like ICE has any business arresting people in conjunction with the police in the streets of New York is shocking. And it's unacceptable for a Democratic candidate to speak of ICE in this way.
I'm going to have the NYPD step in and stop them because this is not their jurisdiction. You're in the city of New York.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani.
ICE is a reckless entity that cares little for the law and even less for the people that they're supposed to serve. What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government, which we've seen under Mayor Adams. What we need to do is actually pass the street vending reform bills that have been in the city council, some of which that this mayor has actually overridden. That's an example of how we can both protect street vendors, ensure quality of life, and leave no stone
Holy
unturned
shit, this
in
guy's
delivering
just
to
kicking my ass.
the people of this city, as opposed to working with
Hey, good to see you here, Avocado Loco.
the president who is looking to declare war on those same people.
Mr. Sliwa.
Unlike both of my adversaries, I've patrolled that area many times, Church and Canal. And as you said, Errol, that activity has been going on for a long time. Selling the knockoff, sometimes stolen contraband by a series of people. The local 5th Precinct, they make arrests when they have obviously cause to do so, and they complain that they have to release them because of no cash bail, of which both of my adversaries are in favor of and I'm not. The feds should not have stepped into this situation. There is not communication between the local authorities and the feds. This is a matter that should have been left up to the NYPD. But we can't tolerate citizens attacking our federal law enforcement forces in the street because then that will just lead to anarchy.
Let me
Okay, yeah, there's no one attacking federal law. First of all, ICE is not a law enforcement agency. They are a terrorist agency. That's what they are in practice. Maybe in name, they're still a law enforcement. They still call themselves that, but they're not. And like, yeah, the question wasn't whether people should attack ICE. The question was, should we have ICE arrest people in the streets of New York? But I mean, this is his whole thing, right? So like, this is one of those issues where Grandpa is not good on. Better than Cuomo though, like, because he's not, at least he's not pretending to be a Democrat.
A related question. President Trump has been commenting on this race and all of you on a regular basis. He's been less than glowing when talking about each of you, especially you, Mr. Mamdani. I'd like you each to describe whatever combination of defiance, diplomacy, and cooperation you will use as mayor if President Trump continues to increase the federal government's role in the affairs of our city while also threatening to decrease funding. Start with you this time, Mr. Sliwa.
Well, both my adversaries have decided to bump chests with President Trump to prove who's more macho. You can't beat Trump.
Bump chests? Is that what we're calling fellatio now for Cuomo? We're calling that bumping chests? Yeah, dude, Cuomo literally had calls with Trump about game planning on how to beat Mamdani. The Trump administration offered Eric Adams like how much money to drop out. Sliwa said that he was offered money by the Trump administration. Like, let's take a look at this. Sliwa offered money to concede. Shit, I misspelled that. Sliwa begs for cash boost. That's not what we want. Sliwa claims billionaires tried to get him to drop out. He says, 7 offers so far to give me more money than my father and I ever made in a lifetime of work. They were giving him cash bribes. According to Sliwa, he said that like multiple billionaires came forward and offered him like tens of millions of dollars. Eric Adams bribery. Well, let's just see. Trump administration offer. Like they offered him like an ambassadorship in for Turkey, right? Adams' allies pushed Trump ambassadorship and a New York City casino bid tied to his veto. When was this? Last month. They wanted to make him ambassador to Saudi Arabia. And then, yeah, he finally did drop out. Then, like, a deal with a Trump casino or something. Adam denies being offered Trump job in exchange for dropping out. But, I mean, we'll see. This was 8 days ago by Bloomberg.com. He's been offered an amazing job. No, I don't want to claim the offer. Okay, Bloomberg.com. Okay, what was this amazing job? Eric Adams drops out of NYC mayoral race. But anyway, like, yeah, these people have been offered money to defeat Cuomo, and he's like, Zohran is illicit in taking big money.
He holds most of the cards. He's already cut federal funding for Medicaid, for the SNAP program, and is threatening to cut funds for NYCHA. So if you're all of a sudden going to get adverse...
Excuse me, Miss Killer K, it was not 20 cats, it was only 17. And now he's down to 16 because one of them died. Let's give this man some respect. He's mourning right now. And he doesn't have his iconic red beret as his defense mechanism.
You're going to lose. And who gets hurt? The people of New York City. With Trump, it's always the art of the deal. You have to go, you have to try to negotiate, whether it's with his minions or himself. He'll want you to give in order to get a little bit. But if you immediately act like you're going to take him on, like, you know, it's going to be a one-on-one fight, we're going to lose. All the people in New York City are going to lose. You have to be able to show respect. And I think if you show respect...
That's a great message. We're going to lose if we fight against Donald Trump. The people of New York City are losers in this regard. Really, that's your message, that if we take on a fight against a fascist president, we're going to lose, so we can't do it. I don't know, man. That seems kind of defeatist. It seems kind of lame.
You'll get respect, and you'll protect the New Yorkers who are so desperately in need of federal funds. What's the good of it? They'll bump chess with Donald Trump. They won't get the money, and then they'll blame Donald Trump. I will negotiate with Donald Trump and try to get the best deal possible for our poor and indigent citizens.
Okay, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, the difference on this question is I've actually lived it, and I've done it with President Trump over many years through the most difficult situation that this country has gone through, COVID plus. You're wrong. You're going to have to confront President Trump. He is hyper-aggressive, and he is going to overstep his bounds. And you are going to have to confront him. And you can beat him. I confronted him, and I have beaten him. He was going to quarantine New York during COVID, and I stopped him. He was going to cut aid to federal programs, and I stopped him. But you also want to be in a place where you can cooperate on good things, because we need federal help if we're going to save our city and rebuild our city. President Trump has to respect you. He sent the National Guard into 20 cities. City he didn't send it into? New York. Because I talked to him and I said, we don't need you here. He has said he'll take over New York if Mamdani wins, and he will, because he has no respect for him. He thinks he's a kid and he's going to knock him on his tuchus. So it is a balance, but you're going to have to be adversarial when you need to, but you want to cooperate to get good things done in this city, and you need federal help.
Mamdani.
We first just heard from the Republican candidate for mayor, and then we heard from Donald Trump's puppet himself, Andrew Cuomo. You could turn on TV.
Bro, like, what is this? What is this dumb bullshit? He needs to respect people. Dude, he thinks you're more pliable than Zohran. That's why he's saying he's going to use less force when dealing with you than Zohran. Like, you're just making the case against yourself. These it's the same shit that you hear when people are talking about the government shutdown. They're like, the Democrats are holding the government hostage, right? The Democrats need to stop playing politics with the government and just fund the government, bite the bullet, fund the government. They need to stop letting the things that they want, keep the government shut down. They're fighting for things they want. That's dumb. That's being political. Let's just vote for, it's like, this is the bill. Let's just vote for it, right? But you can't get away from the fact that that's what the Republicans are doing too. The Republicans also want the government to stay shut down in order to get what they want passed. And we're seeing that here. Donald Trump wants a thing for New York City to happen. These people want to pretend like, oh, if I'm in power, then Donald Trump is no longer going to want that thing for New York City. Let's just say ICE agents detaining people, right? Full cooperation of the NYPD with ICE. Let's say that's what the thing Donald Trump wants. Cuomo's acting like, look, this is what we have. Sliwa, I'm going to just be sycophantic to Trump and do some of the things that he wants. He's still going to apply pressure to get everything that he wants done. Then Cuomo comes out and he's like, I'm going to resist Trump and he's going to respect me. Okay, well, we know that's not true. He's not going to stop wanting to put ICE agents in New York because he respects you. He respects you so little, he thinks he can control you by investigating you through Congress and then dangling the lack of an investigation in front of you to get you to do what he wants. Zohran's the only guy that's actually going to resist Donald Trump. And so these people can't get around it. They're like, if I'm in office, Trump's somehow not going to do what he wants to do. Zohran's the only guy that's being honest. And he's like, Trump's going to want to do Trump is going to try to put ICE agents in New York. I'm going to be the guy that stands. Okay, there we go. Test 1, 2. Okay, we're back. These other guys are just pretending like Trump's magically going to stop wanting to try to could take over New York with the National Guard and with ICE agents and with the Marines. I don't know. It's delusional. Zohran's the only guy that's actually being honest about the difficulties of facing down an authoritarian regime, which is what everyone's going to have to do anyway. You heard Zohran accidentally smoked him?
Any day of the week, and you will hear Donald
Zohran is the most obvious plant ever. Yeah, that's 100% true.
Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. And he wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him. Look, Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk...
I love this line from Zohran because he's acknowledging that a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because of affordability. And he's saying, if you liked Trump because of his affordability line, then you should also vote for me. Because I agree with Trump about the affordability issues. I just am actually going to deliver on the affordability. It's such a good line from Zohran, and more Democrats need to focus on it, but they're not. Politics and campaigning go hand in hand, and what we're seeing is that a lot of Democrats don't have good politics, and they can't campaign that well either.
To me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers, I will fight him every single step of the way.
Okay.
Ooh, he's got the crowd advantage too.
That's not what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump does an analysis of the race. Donald Trump, I believe, wants Mondani.
Why does he remind me of the Crypt Keeper? He just looks so bad.
That is his dream because he will use him politically all across the country, and he will take over New York City. Make no mistake. It will be President Trump and Mayor Trump, and he will come in and take over the city.
I don't understand this line from Cuomo. He's saying that Trump respects him, and so he's not going to take over the city, but he respects him because he knows he can control Cuomo. I don't know. Maybe he's taking this somewhere cool.
I have no doubt. All he said was, his analysis is after the polls, it's a tough choice between a Democrat and a communist. And he considers Mondani a communist. He happens to be a socialist. But between a communist and a Democrat, it's a tough choice for him.
Okay. All right. Thank you, candidate.
That undermines your point, bro. You can't say that he is going to use Mondani to campaign against because he's a socialist, but then he doesn't see a difference between Democrats and socialists, right? Like, you're saying he doesn't see a difference between you and Mamdani. Okay, gotta
wants to talk to you about
this guy up.
some
Jesus.
important issues on the minds of New Yorkers.
Hi, candidates. Thank you for coming tonight. Yeah, and the cost of living is our next topic. You've all cited it as a major factor, and of course, so many New Yorkers are experiencing this, especially when it comes to rising housing costs. And many New Yorkers were shocked this week as a new report from the group Advocates for Children revealed that about 154,000 New York City public school students have been homeless at some point during the last year. 65,000 lived in homeless shelters. Even more were in doubled-up situations with no home of their own. It's never been over 150,000 before, they tell us. And it amounts to 1 in 7 New York City kids. As mayor, how would each of you tackle this problem to help this vulnerable population? And in this round, we're going to go Mr. Mamdani, Mr. Cuomo, Mr. Sliwa. So, Mr. Mamdani, you go first.
This is a stain on our city. To see this many children in our public school system be homeless, and to know that this is the 9th consecutive year that it's more than 100,000 of those children. What we need to do is ensure that next year is not the same, and we are going to do that by building the housing necessary.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a layup question for Zohran, because this is his entire campaign. We're going to freeze rents, and we're going to do the necessary policies in order to build affordable housing. Minneapolis is a Democratic-run city that is kind of a beacon of success about affordable housing, and Zohran Mamdani wants to do all of the policies that Minneapolis did. So it seems like a recipe for success in my mind.
Such that New Yorkers are not priced out of this city or forced to live in shelters. And that's why my campaign is going to deliver 200,000 new affordable homes across the 5 boroughs, all while freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Now, in the public school system, we also have a program called Every Child and Family.
Hey, me out. Thank you for joining again. Have I beaten the... No, I have not beaten this game. I'm at 16%.
Is known. It links a child who is living in a homeless shelter with an employee of the public school system. It also links that employee with the child's family. It's been shown to increase attendance records, self-esteem, a level of belonging in that school system. I am going to increase that pilot program to more than 200 schools, and we're going to do it because we have to deliver for these children.
Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah. Zohran is a great actor. He missed his calling.
He's a great actor. Well, at least he didn't say he's a great rapper, because that would have actually made Zohran sad.
Freeze the rent sounds great. Yeah, it affects about 25% of the number of housing units in the city of New York. It's not a new idea. Bill de Blasio did it. It turned out to be a debacle. And it does nothing for 75% of the units. And for the 25, it just postpones the increase and actually causes us to lose units because landlords took them off the market.
And ask you to address the homeless children question, and we will get to...
Also, yeah, freezing the rent, like, look, that's a Band-Aid, but honestly, we kind of need a Band-Aid right now. Even if it is only for 25% of people, then, you know, that's a big section of people in New York City that can have some kind of relief from the increasing pressure of affordability for housing until, you know, Zohran's plan to build more affordable housing actually comes to fruition. This is a necessity. Like, Cuomo wants to act like it's, oh, you're only going to freeze it for like 8 years. Okay, that's still a good thing. That's still going to get Zohran a lot of votes. That's a popular policy position. Maybe you should adopt some popular policies so that you could get elected. And not only popular for your donors in the Hamptons that that's your main campaign stop all the time.
Rent freeze.
Yeah, well, the answer to homeless children is you need more affordable housing. And I'm saying freeze the rent. Was done under de Blasio. It doesn't work. It's a canard and just a great 3-word slogan for TikTok. The way to increase availability of affordable housing is to build affordable housing. I was the HUD secretary. I did it all across the country. We have 1% vacancy rate. We're not building enough affordable housing, and you need a competent, productive government to do that. And that's what I've done across the country, across the state, make government work. You get the supply.
You've made government work across the country? What are you talking about, dude? Like, Zohran has a plan for affordable housing. You use ChatGPT as your plan for affordable housing. You're just an old man yelling at clouds at this moment.
Up, the rents will come down.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Okay, Mr. Mamdani, you were named, so you get 30 seconds.
We are in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 children in the New York City public school system being homeless. That means it began when Andrew Cuomo was the governor. And what did he do? What did he do about it? He did not do anything. He spent more money on a singing water fountain at LaGuardia Airport than he did on the average cost of an affordable housing unit.
Oh my God. Dude, this is what I'm saying. Like, Cuomo is in a... He's running as an incumbent in an era of anti-incumbency. Like, this is a historical era, at least like a relatively historical era of unhappiness with the current administration on a small scale, but also on a nationwide scale. And so you can't be like, I ran government effectively, and also I'm going to get us out of the mess that I guess someone else got us into. Like, man, as good of a politician as Zohran is, he is positioned amazingly well to be successful in this race.
That is the record that we have in display, and what we need is a change in this city, not more of the same.
Yeah, bro, if I may.
No.
The homeless issue, number of homeless since I left, has more than doubled during his administration and the state's administration. Since I left, homeless rate has more than doubled. When I left, the vacancy rate on housing was 4.5%. It's now 1%. This man never even proposed a bill on housing or education. Never even proposed a bill.
He was an assembly member. Like, you want to act like he alone was the cause of homelessness in New York since you left governorship?
Back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sliwa, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature.
Bro, he's like barely staying alive against Zohran, and then Zohran tags in Sliwa, and Sliwa just comes in with the pile driver from the top rope. Bro, he's just getting absolutely cooked here.
Back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sliwa, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature. Leave.
Bro, I'm sorry. If I ran a campaign, if I was running, like, you know, I'm not the Democrat, but I keep saying I'm a Democrat, and then both of my opponents just are absolutely lambasting me. I'm in a room full of people, and they all start cheering about me getting impeached. I would just quit. I'd walk away and be like, I'm not with it. This is not worth my time. It's not good for my psyche. I'm just gonna head out. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna head out.
You fled.
Like, Cuomo is a glutton for punishment. We have to run this back one more time. This is like a fucking sick knockout blow in a combat sport that you're seeing right now, or at least a concussive one.
Between the two of you, Mr. Sliwa, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature. Leave. You fled. But let's get back on topic, because I'm the only candidate up here who's been into many of the over 300 Department of Homeless Services shelters, and the family shelters are unsafe for the families there. We have to make them safer. We have to bring teachers into the shelter. Many times, the mothers or the guardian have to get on bus after bus and take them to a school that's 2 or 2.5 hours away. This is a horror situation that's taking place, and we have to prioritize this, because this number of homeless children is going to grow. It takes 5 years to build affordable housing. We need to address it in the shelters itself. to be able to handle it so that the teachers can come in, whether they're public school teachers, charter school teachers, and I know there are a number of parochial school teachers who love children who would volunteer their efforts to do that.
It is kind of funny that he's just like, everyone, at least Cuomo said we need to make housing more affordable. Zohran's like, we need to make housing more affordable. Suze was like, let's make the shelters better. Let's get teachers that are overworked and underpaid to come in on their weekends to volunteer at these shelters. Love to see Grandpa up there doing his thing at the debate.
Give it to Katie Honan now to ask about another aspect of affordable housing.
We're going to switch to the millions of New Yorkers who are...
Guys, I'm shocked. Where are all of the questions about Israel? I feel underrepresented as a Zionist Christian. I feel underrepresented as a Christian Zionist that wants Israel to be the first and foremost topic at every single semi-nationwide political debate.
Renters, specifically those in rent-regulated apartments. There are more than 1 million New Yorkers living in these units, most of them rent-stabilized. Mr. Mamdani, you've proposed a rent freeze for these tenants. Mr. Cuomo, you don't support that, and you've proposed a new means test for having a rent-stabilized apartment. Mr. Mamdani, our question, how can you know in advance what the balance between landlord needs and tenant needs will be in future years? We've seen a lot of inflation in recent years. Haven't small landlords felt that pinch as well? And then we have other questions for the other candidates.
You know, we've seen time and again mayors use their power with the Rent Guidelines Board to hike the rent on those same more than 2 million New Yorkers. This same Rent Guidelines Board did a study that found that landlords of those units had seen their profits increase by more than 12%. Their response, hike the rent on rent-stabilized tenants who have a median household income of $60,000. I believe that tenants across our city deserve relief, and I also believe that city government can work to alleviate the pressures for landlords of those units without having to put that burden on those same tenants. It's possible to keep New Yorkers in this city and to help landlords with rising insurance costs, water bills, Con Edison, and a broken property tax system.
Thank you. Mr. Sliwa, what's your proposal for helping New Yorkers with the historically high rent burdens in either stabilized or market rate units?
Well, the first thing, we have 6,000 empty apartments in NYCHA. That is a sin. That's what the mayor can control right away. We need to move those families with children in. For those who live in rent-stabilized apartments and have their rent subsidized, Zohran Mandami, we need to make sure that the big realtors, that they have to pay a vacancy tax because their whole...
Hey, vacancy tax is fine. Like, that's a good policy. It's definitely not going to be as effective as fighting the housing crisis as actually building more affordable housing, but vacancy tax is a good start. There you go.
Holding off on those apartments and not putting them out into the marketplace because they want to flip the building. Not for the mid-sized landlords or the small landlords. They need the help. And there are a number of people in the outer boroughs. They own a home. They live on the property. They're not absentee landlords. 2, 3, 4 apartments. And they're deciding not to put them in the marketplace when somebody either leaves or dies because they have to deal with tenant-landlord court, which is an absolute nightmare for small landlords. We got to make sure it's a fair playing field so that the tenants are protected, but the landlords are protected so they're not stuck with squatters for 4, 5, or 6 years, which...
Bro, you're running in New York City and you're like, we have to watch out for the small landlords. Oh my God, I just died again. We have to really have the interests of the small scale landlords at the top of our mind. But dude, you're asking a question about affordable housing and you're like, we need to help landlords get squatters out of their apartments. That's what you're saying?
Destroys their equity and forces them to leave.
Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, you signed a law in 2019 repealing a means test to live in a rent-stabilized apartment. What's your position now and what changed in that?
The 2019 law was added tenant protections that had never been added before, and protections against tenant evictions. But to answer your question, you cannot, Zohran said, the tenant doesn't have to pay more rent, but we're going to cover the landlord's costs. no, you can't do both. And that's not what happened. We did freeze the rent with de Blasio. We lost units because the landlords took them off the market because you weren't covering their costs. The reason the rent guidelines board went up after the freeze was because you had to make up for all the backlog of costs. And this, I'm going to freeze the rent. And people think it applies to all of them. No, just the 25% of units that are rent stabilized. And by the way,
yeah, he says, I'm going to freeze rent stabilized rent. And also, like, if you pair rent freezing with the construction of new affordable housing units, then that is not going to have the same effect as just freezing rent. Because, of course, if you just freeze rent and then you get rid of the rent freeze laws that you passed, of course the rents are going to go up. But if you also incentivize and subsidize building and specifically like affordable housing building, and then you get rid of some regulations such as parking lot requirements, and you add certain regulations such as like a minimum number of units, a minimum height of buildings, upscaling building zones next to high transit locations within the city, all of that is going to have a minimizing effect on the cost of living. That's going to increase the number of housing units affordable or available to people, and then they're going to not have that same effect of just like, we freeze the rents for like 4 years, right? It's completely different.
it's all BS because the mayor doesn't have the power to do it anyway. The Rent Guidelines Board does, and he doesn't control the Rent Guidelines Board.
Yeah, that's
nothing.
That's a bullshit response, though. Like, oh, he doesn't control the Rent Guidelines Board. Well, he's the mayor. Like, they listen to him. He's an influential figure. It's like saying that Donald Trump doesn't control Congress or Donald Trump doesn't control the courts. Have you witnessed American politics in the last decade, bro? Like, we're seeing the power of a popular figure kind of circumventing all of these traditional separations of seats and of different sources of power. Not that like a Rent Guidelines Board has never been influenced by the mayor. Obviously they're influenced by the mayor. Obviously the governor of New York is going to be influenced by the mayor of New York City when Kathy Hochul sees that Zohran Mamdani got elected by a hugely popular margin and his ideas are popular. That's going to influence her decision making too.
Is going to happen. It's all this. It's just more political blather.
Mr. Mamdani, you can respond.
You know, if you want a candidate for mayor who tells you everything that he cannot do, then Andrew Cuomo should be your choice.
Oh.
If you want a candidate for mayor who will use every tool at their disposal, including the 9 appointees at the Rent Guidelines Board, all of whom are appointed by the mayor, then I am the candidate for you.
We have to go to Errol, sir. I'm sorry, you weren't named, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Errol, talk about development.
My name was invoked. Can I get the rebuttal? Quickly. Okay, quickly.
His name was not evoked, but
the mayor
okay.
doesn't appoint the Rent Guidelines Board. He's wrong. They are appointed to a term, and they're on holdovers. And when the term is over, you can appoint. But it takes a number of years to get control.
Okay, understood. Candidates.
So you can appoint them, is what you're saying. And also the people that are there now would probably want to be appointed by the current mayor, so they would do the things that Zohran wants to be done.
Candidates, right now we are just blocks away from the site of the Long Island City rezoning plan, which has been under consideration for a decade at this point, and in its latest version would create 15,000 new apartments. That plan, like the recently passed City of Yes 5-borough rezoning, reflects a reality that hundreds of thousands of units, as many as 1 million new units, will be needed in New York City over the next 10 years. What is your plan to get new units built quickly?
Now, Cuomo's like, may I interject? When he says he'll appoint the Rent Guidelines Board, actually, he can only do it after a year. Okay, great input there, Cuomo.
And the order of this will be Mr. Cuomo, then Mr. Sliwa, then Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, Sliwa said before it takes 5 years to build affordable housing. No, it doesn't. No, it shouldn't. That's an incompetent government. You can actually get competent government and well-managed government. I built LaGuardia Airport, even though he doesn't like it, in 4 years, okay? So don't tell me it takes 5 years to build a housing unit. You have to redo HPD, you have to change the entire organizational structure, you have the zoning, but you have to start hundreds, if not thousands, of sites simultaneously. Private sector developers, partner with not-for-profits, partner with CDCs, use city-owned sites, use air rights, make a deal with the unions. But this has to be the #1 priority. The way I did 2nd Avenue Subway or the Mario Cuomo Bridge or the Kosciuszko Bridge, this project is thousands of housing developments being accelerated, expedited, facilitated at one time. And we need 500,000 units.
Oh, he's about to hit him with a
make New
haymaker.
York City affordable and still allow the talent to come here.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa.
And still allow the talent to come here. Once again, bro, it's like, oh, if you dare tax rich people by 2% more, you're losing the talented people in this country.
I'm the only candidate here on the stage who is opposed to the city of yes. Both my adversaries are for it. Make sure on election day when you turn over your ballot and you have the initiatives, you vote no. And you know how oftentimes I've been accused, how are you going to work with the Democratic-controlled city council? I, Adrian Adams, and the predominant Democrats, including many of them very liberal and progressive, believe no to yes. I have a simple plan. It takes a year. We have 25 Empire State buildings that would be empty and just have office space. It'll never be used because business doesn't operate the way it used to. Retrofit them to affordable apartments. Most are in Manhattan. The infrastructure is there. You set up a partnership with developers. It'll put men and women to work, and you'll get your affordable apartments a lot quicker and not be a burden to the outer boroughs and the residential communities.
This is so funny, dude. He's like, I want to convert apartment buildings. I want to convert office buildings to apartments, but not allow duplexes and triplexes inside of the suburban residential areas. Oh man, he is such a grandpa, dude. I can totally see my grandparents saying shit like this.
Because you're in the back pockets, Andrew.
We won't build new apartments in my neighborhood. I hate it. My wife hates it's an eyesore.
Of the developers who wine dined and pocket lined you.
Let me ask you a follow-up on that, Mr. Sliwa. Do you think each elected city council member should have basically veto power over whether or not housing gets built in their district?
Absolutely. Local control. Community boards should have their say. What happened to zoning? We throw it out. Eric Adams. This city of yes is on steroids, and he went wild taking care of his developer friends as he knew he would be one and done. I told you he was corrupt. I told you there would be chaos, and I warned you in 2021. You should have elected me mayor then.
Okay. Mr. Mamdani.
We need to build more housing all across New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
Today, New York City builds.
Like, dude, building housing also encompasses turning office buildings into apartments. I don't know. There's just no way of getting around it. Like, Zohran wants to freeze rent, which, yes, it's not going to be a permanent solution, but it's still going to make people's lives easier. And he also wants to get more money to fund the poor by taxing the rich. Like, it's just these other two guys can't compete with Zohran on affordability because they're not equipped with the tools to.
About 4 houses for 1,000 people. Jersey City's at 7. Tokyo is at about 10. We need to do this by streamlining the processes of private sector construction across the city, by ensuring we're building more around hubs of mass transit. And we also need to ensure that the public sector is building truly affordable housing. And what I mean by truly affordable is housing that is built with the median household income in mind, which is $70,000 for a family of 4. And that's why my administration will do exactly that, scaling up programs we already had in HPD.
I'm done with this. I'm done with
like
this.
Senior affordable rental apartments, SARA, like Ella, extremely low-level affordability. These are the kinds of programs that will deliver a city that New Yorkers can actually afford.
There was reference to the 3 housing-related charter amendment questions. I know Mr. Cuomo is on the record as saying he favors them. We just heard Mr. Sliwa say that he's against them. Where do you stand on those?
I'm appreciative that those measures will be on the ballot and that New Yorkers will be able to cast their votes for them. I know that we desperately need to build more housing in this city, and I also know that the jobs we create in the building of that housing should be good jobs as well.
Political answer. What is your opinion, Zohran?
Yes or no?
Come on.
Yes or no?
What is your opinion? Yes or no, Zohran?
Truth.
Don't be a politician here.
I got it.
Don't be a politician here.
I was about to answer the question.
Oh my god, what was that? Sliwa is charming and affable and humorous with breaking the norms. I look very mayoral tonight without my beret. And then Cuomo tries to get in on that and he's like, click, 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 click. Well, what was that, dude?
Yes or no, Zohran? Truth. Don't be a politician here.
I got it. They're pointing out what I was about to answer the question.
Cuomo is obsessed with TikTok. He's like, it's a TikTok dance. Dude, oh my god. Remember in the last debate, Cuomo was asked, what lessons did you learn from the primary and why are you not going to lose to Zohran this time? And he's like, well, I realized that I should have used TikTok more effectively. And so I did a lot more on TikTok. And he's like, TikTok?
I think on the stage you can see 2 people appealing for the Republican Party's votes and myself.
Answer the question. Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support the 3 ballot amendment questions?
I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendment questions.
Oh, what a shocker.
All right.
What a shocker.
We're gonna move
Don't worry,
on.
once he takes it, he'll change it anyway.
We're going to move it on. We're going to move on. The candidates, the rhetoric on the campaign trail has become more heated in recent weeks. We have reached a point where 2 of the candidates on stage here tonight have armed security. I would like to spend a few minutes to see if we can dial down the rhetoric. Mr. Mamdani, some Jewish New Yorkers continue to say that your comments on Israel and the war in Gaza leave them feeling unsafe and concerned about their future in our city. Recently, several prominent New York rabbis took the unusual step of denouncing your candidacy, including the rabbi of the Park Avenue Synagogue in Manhattan and Rabbi Michael Miller, the longtime leader of the Jewish Community Relations Council.
Took them 30 minutes to bring up Zohran's anti-Semitism. All right, here we go.
Who is a friend to many of us. Do you have any regrets about how you've dealt with these issues? And will your longstanding views on the subject get in the way of your ability to be an effective mayor?
I look forward to being a mayor for every single person that calls this city home. Not just those who voted for me in the Democratic primary, not just those that vote for me in this general election, but all 8.5 million New Yorkers. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers who may have concerns or opposition to the positions that I've shared about Israel and Palestine. You know, just a few weeks ago, I was on the M57, the slowest bus in New York City. And as I was seated there, there was a speech therapist who was sitting next to me. She told me that she was Jewish. She said that her daughter was a huge fan, but that she was not yet decided on who she was going to vote for. And she shared to me about her fears in this city, about rising anti-Semitism. And I told her what I will tell New Yorkers today, which is that I will be the mayor who doesn't just protect Jewish New Yorkers, but also celebrates and cherishes them, who doesn't just increase funding to hate crime prevention programs by 800%, who doesn't just ensure that the NYPD are outside of synagogues and temples on the high holy days, but also actually delivers on the implementation of the Hidden Voices curriculum in our school system so that children in this city learn about the beauty and the breadth of the Jewish experience right here in the 5 boroughs.
Okay, I've got a different...
Yeah, can I just comment on that, please? You know...
He's actually anti-Semitic. He just lies, but he's actually anti-Semitic. Can I comment on that? That he's a filthy liar?
Not everything is a TikTok video.
Not everything is a TikTok video. Bro, he just said he's going to protect everyone and you're like, not everything is a TikTok video? What are you on about?
You're the savior of the Jewish people. You won't denounce globalize the intifada, which means...
He's the savior. He said, I'm going to protect every New Yorker from terrorism and hate crimes. And Cuomo's like, you're saying you're the savior of the Jews? You don't even think that Israel has a right to genocide Palestinians.
kill Jews. There's unprecedented
different.
Yeah, but can I just comment on that, please? You know, not everything is a TikTok video. You're the savior of the Jewish people. You won't denounce globalize the Intifada, which means kill Jews. There's unprecedented fear in New York.
Globalize the Intifada means kill Jews. Well, no, it doesn't. But yeah, go ahead. Like, once again, Zionists are the most anti-Semitic people you will meet. When he says globalize the Intifada means kill Jews, he means, what that effectively means is, like, resistance means killing Jews, implying that Jews are oppressing the entire world. That's an extremely anti-Semitic thing to say, dude. Globalize the Intifada just means, like, global resistance against imperialism. If you're saying that that means kill Jews, you're implying that Jews are behind global imperialism, which is an insanely anti-Semitic conspiracy theory and a common trope among white supremacists and Nazis. Like, you are emboldening Nazi talking points by just repeating them on stage.
It was not several rabbis, Errol. It was 650 rabbis who signed the letter, not several.
Let me ask you a related question, Mr. Cuomo. Many New Yorkers have serious grievances with Israel and the way the Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu has conducted the war in Gaza and expanded settlements.
Ooh, here we go. But it won't say genocide, right? Conducted the war in Gaza. Over 100 people killed since the ceasefire, but yeah, it's a war in Gaza that's been conducted.
The West Bank. What would you say to, and how would you handle New Yorkers who are in the streets, if you were mayor, protesting the actions of the Netanyahu government?
Fine. That's your right. Protest, demonstrate, disagree. God bless America. God bless New York City. And there is no doubt that there's two sides on what's going on, and the passions are very high.
Oh my God. Just completely minimizing people's protests against genocide. There's no doubt that there's two sides, and the passions are very high.
That doesn't justify anti-Semitic behavior in New York. It doesn't justify having a Jewish population that feels unprotected in New York. It doesn't justify leaders who stoke the flames of hatred against Jewish people, which is what Zohran does, in my opinion.
I'll give him a chance to answer, and then we'll go to Mr. Sliwa.
You know, I've heard from Jewish New Yorkers about their fear.
Stoke the flames of hatred. Oh my God, so disgusting. Yeah, I know. Who said, oh yeah, FAB, protecting the synagogue, hot new TikTok trend. Here's how we protect the synagogue. First, we need to make the Star of David, and then here's us, like, beating up people that are protesting Israel. That's the protecting the synagogue TikTok trend, according to Cuomo.
About anti-Semitism in this city. And what they deserve is a leader who takes it seriously, who roots it out of these 5 boroughs, not one who weaponizes it as a means by which to score political points on a debate stage.
Mr. Smith.
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like two kids in a schoolyard.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio this morning.
Zohran, this is personal for me. I know you are under threat. The mother of my 2 youngest sons who are raised Jewish, Melinda Katz, is prosecuting this person who came up and tried to do you harm. But let me speak on behalf of my 2 sons. When they've heard some of the statements you've made.
So Sliwa has Jewish sons? I guess his wife is Jewish. And his wife is prosecuting a guy who attacked Zohran? This is some crazy plot that I'm not aware of.
Like, in support of global jihad, and I hear some people out there saying the Jews, their time is...
Yeah, he was never said he supported global jihad. What he said is, I don't condemn the phrase globalize the Intifada, because it means different things for different people. It's in the Holocaust Museum. It's the Arabic translation in the Holocaust Museum.
Which means the same thing. They're frightened, they're scared. They view you as the arsonist who fan the flames of anti-Semitism. They cannot suddenly accept the fact that you're coming in like a firefighter and you're going to put out these flames. You've got a lot of explaining to do, a lot of apologizing to do.
For what, dude? This is Sliwa's worst moment here. Once again, man, I don't think the Republicans that are going to vote for Sliwa are going to be like, yeah, Zohran is too callous in the way that he treats Jewish people. Like, isn't your whole thing we're going to like beat people up and we're like New York tough? Why are you pretending that like people's feelings are hurt because of what Zohran Mamdani didn't say?
My sons are afraid. Their family, their friends, many in the Jewish community are concerned if you become mayor because they don't think when anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, which it's now doing more than ever before, that you will have the ability to come in and put out those flames of hate.
Okay, yeah, you can.
I think there is room for disagreement on many positions and many policies, but I also want to correct the record. I have never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad. That is not something that I have said, and that continues to be ascribed to me.
Yeah, honestly,
and frankly,
pretty
I think
racist.
much of it has to do with the fact.
Pretty racist to say that like Zohran is a supporter of global jihad and people like he has to apologize for what? For being Muslim? That's what he needs to apologize for? Like this, what you're seeing here is just acceptable Islamophobia. That's what it is. Acceptable bigotry.
That I am the first Muslim candidate.
Like imagine if Zohran's like, Cuomo has been in favor of Israel and a lot of it's not even a fair comparison because Israel's actually doing a genocide against Muslim people. But it's still like people would jump down Zohran's throat if he's like, Cuomo he's defended Netanyahu. He signed on to be Netanyahu's lawyer against the International Criminal Court while Netanyahu is doing a genocide of Muslim people. A lot of Muslims in New York City would feel unsafe if Cuomo was the mayor. Imagine if he brought that up. How much he'd be lambasted for anti-Semitism, for playing identity politics, for being a snowflake. But when people do it for Zohran, when people are scared of a Muslim, then that's completely acceptable.
Candidate to be on the precipice of winning this election. Now, all the same, Curtis, I do still want to be the mayor that will keep your sons safe, that will keep every single New Yorker safe. And it is my job to not only deliver on that commitment, but also to ensure that New Yorkers feel it every single day that they live in this city.
Okay, candidates, Brian's going to take us into the next section.
Thank you, Errol. And the next section is some individual political questions, one for each of you. Let me start with you, Mr. Cuomo, then Katie will ask a question of Mr. Sliwa and Errol to Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Cuomo, the last time most New Yorkers saw you before this campaign was when you resigned your seat as governor under scandal in 2021. The most recent Quinnipiac University poll in this race shows that 54% of likely voters say you're unethical. Meanwhile, you also have strained relations with Governor Hochul, State Attorney General Letitia James, and others. What would you say right now to New Yorkers who have questions about your moral compass and concerns that you cannot effectively work with other elected officials?
Yeah, well, first, you somewhat misstated the facts, but I resigned because there was allegations made. I didn't want to waste the time and distract state government. I knew it was going to take a long time to sort out. I left, which I thought was respectful to state government. We sorted it out legally.
There were allegations made. Whatever happened there, I didn't want to be disrespectful to the government. You didn't want to disrespect the government? Yeah, bro.
Nothing came from any of the allegations. I was dropped from the cases. You know that. We've had this discussion 4 times, but you like to talk about the past rather than yesterday. I chose Governor Kathy Hochul.
You'd like to talk about the past rather than yesterday? That's the past. Why is that your line? You'd like to talk about the past rather than This is like a Sopranos line. It just straight up is. It's as like humorously stupid as the best written Sopranos line. Why are we talking about the past when we should be talking about yesterday?
I would have no problem working with her. The legislature, I got 11 budgets passed on time. most in modern political history. They haven't gotten one done on time since I was there. So don't tell me who knows how to work with the legislature. And a mayor being able to deal with that legislature is key. Because don't kid yourself, I've watched every governor and mayor since Ed Koch. There is a tension between the city and the state. The city's arguing for its budgets, the state is saying no, and the city has been getting screwed by the state, and that has to change, and the city has to be doing better.
Thank you. Katie?
To many New Yorkers, you've often presented yourself as more of a well-known New York character than a serious policy expert. Your critics have said your candidacy is making it more likely that Zohran Mamdani can win the election. What do you say to them and to others who feel that while your name recognition has seen a boost, your candidacy is not helpful to New Yorkers, including those who share your views?
Number one, I have 13 campaign offices open. I'm throughout the outer boroughs. You see the excitement and energy of the working class people that I represent. I am the Republican populist candidate representing the working class. And I'm also, Katie, the candidate on the independent line, first ever, put together by my wife, Nancy, who loves animals like so many. Save the animals. No kill shelters. Animal abusers go to jail. So people know that I'm not
Hassan.
just running to protect people, which is...
I beat him as he was bringing up Hassan, campaigning against the animal abusers.
In my life as leader of the Guardian Angels. I'm there to protect our pets and animals. Because remember, Mahatma Gandhi said,
what is this? Sorry, I have to run this back. I was kind of distracted. They were asking him about why he's a serious politician, and he brings up how he's there to protect the pets and the animals? What? Wait, am I following this right? They're like, Curtis, you've been criticized as being an unserious politician and more of a local legend. Can you explain how you'd actually be a serious politician? And he's like, I would protect the dogs. I'd protect the cats.
Mamdani can win the election. What do you say to them and to others who feel that while your name recognition has seen a boost, your candidacy is not helpful to New Yorkers, including those who share your views?
Number one, I have 13 campaign offices open. I'm throughout the outer boroughs. You see the excitement and energy of the working class people that I represent. I am the Republican populist candidate representing the working class. And I'm also, Katie, the candidate on the independent line, first ever, put together by my wife, Nancy, who loves animals like so many.
Wait, he's a Republican but also an independent at the same time? And that he's just like, and also I have the support of my wife who loves animals.
Representing the working class. And I'm also, Katie, the candidate on the independent line, first ever, put together by my wife, Nancy, who loves animals like so many. Save the animals. No kill shelters.
He just goes on a complete tangent. He's like, yes, I'm a very serious candidate because I have a lot of support. I have 13 offices, and also I'm an independent put together by my wife who loves animals. I love animals too. Animals are great. That's going to be the main focus of my mayoralship is building stages for animals. Dude, what is this fucking scatterbrained tangent that you're running on right now?
Animal abusers go to jail. So people know that I'm not just running to protect people, which has been my life as leader of the Guardian Angels. I'm there to protect our pets and animals. Because remember, Mahatma Gandhi said, a society that does not take care of its animals does not take care of its people. Homeless, emotionally disturbed, veterans. I'm out there every day tending to their needs with
Tending to their needs, cracking their skulls, wearing his red beret.
The Guardian Angels, doing things that the city and state should have been doing a long time ago, but neglected them and instead spent $7 billion on migrants that we don't even know. That.
This is what I'm saying, dude. This guy's hilarious. He's like, we need to protect the worst of the society, but also these migrants are ruining the city and we're spending money on them. Holy shit, dude. But I mean, dude, this is why he's likable, though. He actually cares about New York. He just is, like, also racist as fuck. But, like, he's a guy who likes animals? I mean, does Cuomo like animals? I don't know. I don't know if Cuomo would be the type of guy that would like go on a scatterbrained rant about how much he loves his 17 cats that he had. Oh my god, he is such a fucking like he is the Archie Bunker of our times. That's what Sliwa is.
That is a disgrace. We should be there.
Yeah, he's like you can't make this shit up. This is quintessential conservative brained politics, like American politics. He's like, he quotes Mahatma Gandhi for saying that a society that doesn't care about its animals doesn't care about its people. And he's like, we need to care about our animals because I also care about our people. But fuck all of the migrants that came here. They're all like a sub-animal. They're not even subhuman. They're sub-animal. I'd rather take care of like a mouse than them. Save the pizza rat from the New York subway. But not the guy from Honduras that's selling off-brand merchandise on the street.
For our own people who are suffering and wallowing in desperation and despair.
For our own people.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani.
And also, let's build affordable housing, but not in my neighborhood. Just quintessential, like, NIMBYism from him, too.
You have criticized the politics of the past where leaders either avoid taking a stand on a key issue or try to be all things to all people. But at times during this campaign, you've carefully avoided answering tough questions. We saw an instance just a few minutes ago when I asked about how you plan to vote on those ballot initiatives next month. We've asked whether you support a major rezoning push for part of Queens, some of which is in your district. You've been unclear about how you think the city schools should be run, its governance structure. How is that different from politics as usual?
When it comes to our schools, I believe that every single child deserves to have an excellent public education. And we have not seen that under the stewardship of those schools with this mayoral administration. We have not seen it because we are not fully funding those schools. We are not on track to comply with the class size mandates of those schools. We are not even on track to ensure greater literacy levels across those schools, despite the strides that have been taken with NYC REITs. When it comes to rezoning, I've been very clear that I will always celebrate the addition of additional housing units across the city. I also believe that Gantry State Park and Queensbridge Park should be one contiguous park. Those are things that one can believe at the same time. And my critiques of the politics of the past is right here on this stage. You can see in Andrew Cuomo someone who had 10 years to deliver on so much of what he's spoken about. He says that taking 5 years to build affordable housing is the sign of an incompetent government. By his own words, that means he must have led an incompetent government. That is what we are seeing, because that is the record that is actually on offer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand my friend doesn't really understand government. The governor doesn't build housing in New York City.
Not if it's you.
No.
Not if it's you.
There are jurisdictions. The governor doesn't pick up trash. He doesn't run the fire department. That's what the mayor does. The mayor builds housing. The state allocates funding for localities. And I allocated more funding for housing than any governor in the history of the state of New York. All right? I did things. You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives.
I got my ass handed to me.
You don't know how to run a government. You don't know how to handle an emergency. And you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're now talking about in your campaign. You had the worst attendance record in the assembly.
So he did propose a bill? Because he's like, you never propose a bill for anything that you're not talking about in your campaign, okay?
And you gave yourselves the highest raise in the United States of America. You went from $110,000 to $140,000, and then you never showed up for work and you missed 80.
The highest raise was $30,000. That was the highest raise in all of the U.S.? Okay.
% of the votes. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Now, it is always a pleasure to hear Andrew Cuomo create his own facts at every debate stage.
Yeah.
We just had a former governor say in his own words that the city has been getting screwed by the state. Who was leading the state? It was you.
Oh my God, bro.
Governor Hochul. school.
Screwing this city.
No.
You cut
You
homelessness
as a legislator.
funding. You cut funding for the
You
MTA.
as a
You did
legislator.
all of these things, my friend.
Dude, the fucking audience is laughing at him. Oh man, what's a more brutal beatdown? Cuomo versus Zohran, or that go ride a bike, you effing F slur, or that guy that got his glasses taken by a middle schooler.
It's the past 4 years. It's the past 4 years.
Okay, guys, I didn't.
Oh yeah, it only happened in the last 4 years. That's when New York got bad. That's when we had an affordable housing crisis. Everything else is completely. New York was a utopia while I was in office.
I want to have to do this, but you understand how this works. You can't talk over each other. Nothing works if you do that. I believe we've heard your response. I wanted to give you a quick word, and then we're going to move on.
I heard the both of them again fighting like kids in the schoolyard. Zohran, your resume could fit on a cocktail napkin, and Andrew, your failures could fill a public school library in New York City.
Okay.
We're going to move now to public safety.
Dude, is Zohran laughing?
Okay. Go ahead, Katie.
We're going to move now to public safety. And there was some breaking news from the New York Times that you, Mr. Mamdani, would ask Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch to stay on as police commissioner if you are indeed mayor. I wanted to confirm if that was true. And for Mr. Cuomo and Mr. Sliwa, would you ask the current police commissioner to stay on if you were elected? So, Mr. Mamdani, we'll start with you.
Yes, I can confirm that reporting. My administration will be relentless in its pursuit of safety and affordability for every New Yorker. And the delivery of that will require us to put together a team of the best and the brightest. Eric Adams stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with corruption and incompetence. Commissioner Tisch took on a broken status quo, started to deliver accountability, rooting out corruption and reducing crime across the 5 boroughs. I've said time and again that my litmus test for that position will be excellence, and the alignment will be of that position. And I am confident that under a Mamdani administration, we will continue to deliver on that same mission and do so while creating the Department of Community Safety to ensure that mental health experts were the ones responding to the mental health crisis. Because safety and justice is at the cornerstone of our pursuit of public safety, and in doing so, we will also be able to deliver our agenda for affordability.
Thank you. And very briefly, quickly, Mr. Sliwa and Mr. Cuomo, would you ask Commissioner Tisch to stay on if you are elected mayor?
Yes, I would, for stability. But then again, I don't think she would serve with either Cuomo or Zohran because she has railed against no cash bail. Cuomo, the architect of no cash bail. Zohran, the apprentice of no cash bail. That's why criminals are running in the street.
And Mr. Cuomo, would you ask her to stay on?
I would ask her to stay on. I don't believe Zohran when he says he would ask her to stay on. The DSA's position, his position has been to defund, disband the police. She wouldn't take that. His current position, today's position was freeze the budget. That would cause a reduction in police. She has called for more police. I've called for more police. Mayor Adams has called for more police. So their philosophies are totally incongruous. DSA calls for eliminating misdemeanors. He wants to decriminalize prostitution. I don't think she would support any of that.
Well, we can't speak for her. She's not here. But I will ask the public safety question. And we'll start with you, Mr. Sliwa. The issues of crime and disorder on the streets. The NYPD says the crime is going down in all major categories, most major categories. But
I know this is a feel-good debate because you have the one normal guy and then 2 comic book characters, and neither of the comic book characters look like they have any chance at winning at all. So the debate is a feel-good debate just because it seems like a safe debate.
New Yorkers, they're still concerned with disorder and their own unique perception of crime. Do you think addressing quality of life concerns helps prevent more serious crimes? And how would you deploy the city's police force to deal with those serious violent crimes and also quality of life offenses like disorderly conduct and retail theft? Mr. Sliwa.
First off, I've been in all 350 neighborhoods. I'm the only candidate that's on the subway each and every day. I've yet to hear from one New Yorker who said they feel safer either in the subways or the streets. and Eric Adams constantly heckling at us like it's the perception. No, it's the reality of crime. We need 7,000 police officers. We are badly understaffed. We need to get police officers in the subways actually patrolling the moving cars where people are most threatened and most frightened. And we need to bring back the homeless outreach unit that was disbanded when de Blasio took $1 billion out of the budget.
Okay, homeless outreach, fine, but once again, you actually need to build housing if you want to solve homelessness. Police on subway cars? No, dude. No fucking way. Yeah, it's just not a good policy.
Men and women police officers who already had with them medical nurses and healthcare practitioners, but it was de Blasio who abolished it, and they've been talking about bringing something back ever since. But they never do it because I'm out there in the subways every day and I never see it. And when I'm mayor, it gets done on day one. The homeless outreach unit is put back into the NYPD.
Thank you. Mr. Mamdani.
You know, when I hear from New Yorkers of where they feel least safe, they will often tell me the subway system. And when they explain those moments to me, what they are often explaining is a mental health crisis in our city and a crisis of homelessness that has only continued to grow. And that is why, at the heart of our public safety agenda, is a groundbreaking proposal to not only reduce crime, but address these very moments of unease for New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs by creating a Department of Community Safety that will be focused on the mental health crisis, focused on homelessness, and will ensure that police officers can focus on serious crimes. Because in 2020, the response time for those officers was less than 11 minutes. Today, it's closer to 16 minutes. And that's because every year, they are now responding to 200,000 mental health calls, when those are calls that could by and large be taken by experts trained on responding to that very crisis.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo.
I mean, yeah, you like, this is the thing. This is why leftism has a reality bias. If you want to solve for reality, you're always going to tend towards leftism, because obviously the issues on the subway aren't crime. It's homeless people and people with mental health issues. And so the solution isn't police. It's to it's like to do a outreach towards those people to solve for those specific issues. Which is why, like, you know, Sliwa said that he wants to do homeless outreach team. But then Zohran just goes even further. Let's not put police on the subway. Let's actually get people that are equipped to deal with these issues on the subway and then let them deal with them.
The answer is always a new government agency.
Bro, you want to add 5,000 police to the streets? What the fuck are you talking about? It's always a new government agency. It's putting people on the streets. I thought that's what you wanted. He just wants to specifically tailor the people he puts out onto the streets so that they're well equipped to deal with issues. You don't want to do that.
Manage the system. Manage the public safety system. We know how.
That's what he's doing. Oh my God. God, man. Liberals suck. Liberals suck. Also, I kind of suck.
Let's do this. Mayor David Dinkins did it when we had a real crime problem. Hire more police officers. Of course, you have to deal with the mentally ill. Of course, that requires mental health specialists with police, because the situation can be dangerous.
Like, he has nothing to say. He has nothing to say. He's like, Zohran's idea is good, but like, let's put police there too, because we all know police are great at protecting people. Like, literally, the police are not constitutionally required to protect people. That was a Supreme Court case, and it was determined that cops did not actually have to protect and serve. So I don't know why everyone's pretending like that's in their job description.
But hire the 5,000 more cops, because they're all quitting, because they're getting worked too hard. You're going to have to raise the starting salary, because nobody wants to be a cop today, the way they're treated. Put 1,500 in the subways. Forget this Zohran idea of not prosecuting misdemeanors. Prosecute misdemeanors. Those are quality of life crimes. And that's very important. Yes, the subways are scary, but it's scary in their neighborhood too. Those quality of life crimes also have to be addressed.
Mr. Murray.
No matter how many times Andrew Cuomo describes it as my idea or my policy, I have never once stated that we were not going to prosecute misdemeanors. And that is what you see.
Yeah, also, like, Zohran never said that. This is just something, once again, like, Cuomo's making this up.
From the former governor is someone who spends more time talking about the platforms of other organizations and other individuals than the one that I've actually put forward or the one that he is supposed to be running on.
Now we'll hear from Brian for another question.
And excuse me 1 second. Can I just respond to that accusation?
Whether it's misdemeanors or felonies, no cash bail releases him back into the streets, and both of you afford no cash bail.
I want to move on. You'll get your opportunities, I think, because I want to bring up a particular crime concern, and that is violence among younger New Yorkers, specifically teenagers. My question is, what is your stance on the statewide Raise the Age law, which increased the age of adult criminal responsibility from 16 years old to 18 for most crimes? Police Commissioner Tisch says, quote, "The mentality on the street is that nothing happens to those under 18 who possess a gun." So would you support modifying Raise the Age in any way? And Mr. Mamdani, since you just announced that you would invite Commissioner Tisch to stay on, would you go along with her on this?
I would not support changes to the state's legislation, and I would not support them because the major issue with the implementation of that legislation has been the fact that there is hundreds of millions of dollars that was supposed to be delivered alongside that law that is still languishing in Albany. And I am excited to be the next mayor of the city to finally fight for the money that this city is owed to ensure that we deliver it to our young people across the 5 boroughs.
Mr. Cuomo.
What I was referring to before is Zohran is a member of the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. They have a charter. He gives them 3% of his salary. He has said multiple times, I am a DSA member, I pledge allegiance. They say abolish jails, defund police, don't enforce misdemeanors.
These people that Zohran supports say that, like, theoretically we should abolish jails. Thus, Zohran wants to abolish jails. Yeah. Well, you could also just listen to the things he actually says. Like, I don't know. I was gonna say, does Cuomo actually support genociding Palestinians? Because that's what Netanyahu supports. But yeah, he probably does.
Go to my website, andrewcuomo.com. It's right on the front page. Now, is he lying to the DSA? Is he lying to New Yorkers? Is he lying to everybody? Who knows? On the Raise the Age, I passed the law. I support the law. We were one of only 2 states that put 16 and 17-year-olds in adult prisons. It was inhumane. It was cruel and unusual, and I'm proud of that law. It's administered by local governments. Some are doing it better than others. If Zohran thought that there was money locked up in Albany, maybe he should have gone to Albany and proposed a bill to release it.
Support keeping the law. Mr. Sliwa.
Once again, the architect of Raise the Age, Governor Cuomo, the apprentice to him, Zohran. It's personal for me.
It's so funny. Cuomo always tries to, like, point out that Zohran's worse than him on something. Then Sliwa chimes in and is like, no, they're actually the exact same.
My oldest son, Anthony, last October was the victim of a vicious gang assault that could have killed him. And what happened to these juveniles? Cut free because they went to family court.
But you wanted them to go to prison with adults?
Not criminal court. So how can both of you look at me? I almost lost my oldest son to gang violence, and the perpetrators went to family court and got a little pat on the wrist and was sent home to do it again and again. No. We need to start charging juveniles who commit violent crime in criminal court, and I'll appoint criminal court judges who follow the law and don't just release them because of no cash bail.
A clear difference between you on that. Ms. Errol, you pick it up.
Okay, candidates, I've got individual questions for you, and we're going to try and pick up the pace a little bit here. I'd like you to really just explain kind of where you're coming from. Mr. Mamdani, you've called for reorganizing the NYPD to create this Department of Community Safety that, among other things, would handle calls involving people in mental health distress. Your opponents have disparaged this as sending social workers rather than cops into dangerous situations like domestic violence disputes. Explain really what you have in mind, and please include any evidence that this approach would work.
Absolutely. What my opponents are clinging to is the past, because that's all that they know. What I am
But we should talk about yesterday, not the past.
proposing is something that will address the needs of New Yorkers in the present. We speak and hear from New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs who outline how the mental health crisis is one of the major challenges in this city. And yet what we have in our city is asking those same police officers who are being asked to respond to shootings, respond to murders, to also respond to these calls. I trust the dispatchers who would be receiving these calls to make the determination as to whether there was any indication of violence. If there is no indication of a threat of violence, then we would set the mental health experts and providers to respond to those same incidents. The reason I believe in the efficacy of this approach is because of the fact that it has been delivered elsewhere in the country. So no matter how often you hear those on this stage tell you that something cannot be done, know that there are others in this same country who have seen it, and it is time for that same policy to come to New York City.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa and Mr. Cuomo, I have a similar question for both of you. The department currently fields about 33,000 officers, down from 37,000 in 2018. Public safety budget approaching $10 billion. Mr. Sliwa, you want to hire 7,000 more cops. Mr. Cuomo says 5,000 more cops. Each of you make the case for why you think that's necessary, especially given the fact that for...
Dude, some actual fair questions from the moderators. Surprising.
Crime decline for much of New York City. Crime declines over the last 20 years happened while the size of the force was also declining and not rising.
Errol, I have to revisit the last debate for a second when Zohran was basing this policy on what they do in Eugene, Oregon. You've never been to Eugene, Oregon. I have. Are you out of your mind? And then Columbus, Ohio. This is...
I do love how he's like, I'm basing this off of evidence of successes in other places. And Sliwa's like, have you been to those places? You don't even understand geography.
New York City, a major metropolitan area with thousands of 911 calls, domestic abuse, emotionally disturbed persons, and you want to have social workers go out there and risk their life, and by the way, they're not going to get the results that a trained professional police officer can get. That's why we so desperately need 7,000 new cops. We'll use the Boston model, which is pay now in lieu of taxes. They do it at Harvard University and the other university. We'll raise $1 billion, get them vetted, trained, and out into the streets so they can be seen in all the neighborhoods, and most importantly, do the job.
Wait, what did he say? He's going to charge universities for the cops?
That's why we so desperately need 7,000 new cops. We'll use the Boston model, which is pay now in lieu of taxes. They do it at Harvard University and the other universities.
So instead of taxing, they're just going to have universities pay for the police. Wouldn't that be the same as taxing them? What do you mean instead of taxes? It's still just government revenue.
Will raise $1 billion, get them vetted, trained, and out into the streets so they can be seen in all the neighborhoods, and most importantly, do the job they were sworn to do. And I will make sure that their insurance, the qualified immunity that was stripped from them, the only civil servants who are not protected by the taxpayer, is returned so that they can freely go out and do what they were trained to do, is to protect all of the people of New York City.
Okay, Mr. Cuomo.
There is nothing new here. We've had mentally ill, homeless people going back to the Billy Boggs case, right, under the Ed Koch administration. I ran homeless services not just for David Dinkins, but also for President Clinton. I've worked in every state, all the large cities, on all homeless programs. I've spent dozens of nights out trying to bring mentally ill people in. It can be done with mental health workers and police workers. You cannot tell from a phone call if a person is going to be dangerous. And I have seen personally many times a person who seemed very calm and sedate explode into rage.
Oh my God.
Why? Because that's sometimes a symptom of mental illness. So there's nothing new here. It just has to be done and managed. Yes, you need more police. You need more police, first of all, Errol, because they're quitting because there are not enough to staff the...
Oh, yeah, I mean, Sliwa is horrible. Of course he is. But yeah, what Cuomo's saying here is just an argument, which is it's an argument the police make, which is why the police are the worst institution in this country. Maybe second at worst, if now that we have ICE as bad as it is. Treating civilians like they're enemy combatants. We need to be ready to execute them at a moment's notice. You never know when someone will be violent. Like the Eric Adams meme where Eric is like bringing a camera crew into a fake children's room. And he's like, you never know when your kid is going to bring jugs back from the school. See this poster? Check behind it. Maybe there's drugs back there. Check their knapsack. Check their common school knapsack. And there might be a gun in it. Like... He's just like, mistrust everyone. This was the literal plot from Crybaby Devilman, or Devilman Crybaby, where they create a bunch of demons by saying, don't trust your neighbor. Don't trust your neighbor, because they could be a demon. This is what Andrew Cuomo's saying right now.
Force, and they're working overtime and weekends, and their family life is destroyed. So you have the highest attrition rate in modern history. You have to hire 5,000 just to slow down the attrition.
Okay, thank you, candidate.
40,000 beds for mental health in the state hospital system. By the time you fled fearing impeachment, you cut the budget down to 4,000 beds. Shame on you for putting those emotionally disturbed persons in the street.
You don't know what you're telling. Well, there's one bet I'm going to say for you, but no one is saying to go back to Willowbrook. That's when there were 40,000 people in mental institutions. Yeah. We left that 40 years ago when we went to community-based housing.
We're going to stay in this century, guys. Yeah. The next, we're going to do our lightning round where each candidate will answer our questions with a brief response, usually yes or no. I'm going to do the first couple. Candidates, if you had the power, would you keep, kill, or modify the congestion pricing program? Just say one of those words. Keep, kill, or modify. Mr.
This is the political version of that camp game.
Keep. Okay. Would you expand, decrease, or keep the same number?
Notice how Zohran is like not being that vocal here. He's really letting Cuomo and Sliwa tear themselves apart while he just sits comfortably on his lead.
Number of so-called safe injection sites for drug users in the city, Mr. Mamdani.
Can you say the options again?
Expand, decrease, or keep the same?
Keep the same.
Mr. Cuomo.
Keep.
Close them down.
Okay.
Of course.
The last two mayors proposed allocating 1% of the city budget for parks. Will you make the same pledge here tonight, Mr. Sliwa?
And another 2%. Keep your hands off the parks, you greedy developers.
1%.
Mr. Cuomo. 1%. Okay.
2%.
Okay.
Another lightning round question. The city recently enacted a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit for e-bikes. And of course, there are the other motorized two-wheelers that also frequently ignore red lights and other traffic laws. If you were mayor, would you direct the NYPD to ramp up speeding tickets and other moving violations on the motorized two-wheelers, Mr. Cuomo?
Yes. Look, this is a dangerous situation for many people.
It's a rapid fire, Cuomo.
Mr. Mamdani, yes or no?
I would actually build on the city council's progress in holding the apps accountable like DoorDash and Grubhub to ensure that there weren't incentives for breaking those street traffic laws.
So you would not increase ticketing the riders?
I do not think the police should be the ones dealing with the failures of these app companies.
Mr. Sleeper.
License them, register them, and yes, do enforcement on them.
All right. There is a ballot question to...
Dude, SNL needs to make a skit of this. Like, it's just so good. You have the loudmouth conservative, the crony capitalist lib, and then just like Zohran. Like, it is perfect sketch material. You have the straight man in Zohran, and then like the two complete caricatures of a politician on either side of him. Like, if SNL doesn't do that, then they've completely lost all relevancy.
To align mayoral election years with presidential election years in the future. Do you support this, Mr. Sliwa?
Absolutely not. All the attention would go to the presidential election, not to the mayoral election and all the down-ballot elections, all of our city council people.
That's a no, Mr. Mamdani.
I haven't yet taken a position on any of the ballot referendums.
Oh, shocker.
Again?
Who gives a fuck,
Again and
bro?
again and again. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. First question.
Who cares? He hasn't decided whether ballot referendums should be on election day or not. Oh wow, that's really the deal breaker for people.
Do you support having a casino in the 5 boroughs, like it's a full casino, and do you have a favorite among the 3 current contenders? Mr. Sliwa.
No, only if the community wants it.
Mr. Mamdani.
I'm personally skeptical of casinos, but voters did choose to bring them to New York City. And unlike Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump, I don't view the law as just a suggestion.
Do you have a favorite of the 3?
No, I don't have favorites of casinos.
Mr. Cuomo.
I do not. I have not reviewed the proposals. I was not in. I did not.
Oh, and Cuomo's the guy that always blames. He always accuses Zohran of not being solid on positions. And now, in the very next fucking question, he's like, I have no idea.
Vote.
It's not so hard to say.
I did. Let me just so you understand some facts. I did not vote to bring the casinos to New York City. I did casinos in upstate New York as economic development measures. I had no part of these 3 casinos, how they were done. I think it's highly problematic, and I think there's going to be a lot more to come.
If this was,
Boy, that
if this
sounds
was
like
a ranked
technology
choice,
to me. You and Zohran can't answer a straight question.
If there was a ranked choice election, how would you vote, Mr. Mamdani?
If there was a ranked choice election?
In this, you'd have to rank these.
Myself number 1 and Curtis number 2.
Mr. Sliwa.
Why would they ask them that?
Please don't be glazing me here, Zohran.
Don't be glazing me, dude. He's hip. He's hip. He says to Zohran, "Don't be glazing me." He watches the Hasanabi broadcast. Oh my god.
Are you kidding?
How would you vote, Mr. Mamdani?
If there was a ranked choice election?
In this, you'd have to rank these.
Myself number 1 and Curtis number 2.
Mr. Sliwa.
Oh, please don't be glazing me here, Zohran. Are you kidding?
Mr. Sliwa, do you want to have an
I
answer?
support ranked choice voting, but I'd only vote for myself.
Mr. Cuomo.
I love that Zohran and Curtis ticket idea. I don't know. I'm just enamored with it. I would just rank myself.
Would any of you accept Mayor Adams' endorsement? Mr. Mamdani.
No.
Mr. Cuomo.
Yes, I would.
Mr. Sliwa.
Absolutely not. Put that crook in jail where he belongs.
And final, a fun one.
Be careful. Be careful.
What is your favorite?
Bro, I'm sorry. Like, Cuomo differentiating himself from Sliwa and Zohran in like a moment of levity in the debate. Like, this is a part of the debate that people are going to be talking about. Oh, man. And then he's like, he's the only one that would accept Eric Adams' endorsement.
Favorite live music venue in New York City, Mr. Sliwa?
Oh, chain smokers. EDM.
Under the final, a fun one.
Be careful. Be careful.
What is your favorite live music venue in New York City, Mr. Sliwa?
Oh, chain smokers. EDM.
Under the K Bridge.
He goes to EDM concerts? Dude, this man gets better and better. I mean, his politics are so fucking dumb, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious how he cares for the people in the city. He's like, but except for those dirty immigrants, we need to take care of our people. He's like, you know, for the poor working class of New York, except for the immigrants.
I presume.
That's right, the Kosciuszko Bridge.
Mr. Mamdani.
Forest Hill Stadium.
Mr. Cuomo.
Under the Kosciuszko Bridge.
Have you seen a show under the K Bridge? Who'd you see?
No, I picked up my daughters at a show there. That's as close as I got.
Candidates, it's time for the cross-exam.
That's kind of sad, man. He hasn't gone to any live music in New York City. He picked up his daughters at a show, but he hasn't been there yet.
Nomination round, that's where each candidate gets a chance to ask one question of one rival. The order was selected at random. We're going to begin with Curtis Sliwa.
Zohran, you talk about free, free, free. But we know that somebody's got to pay for it, and that's you, the taxpayers. and that's going to lead to bankruptcy. The only reason that Zohran is on the stage is because of the failed Governor Cuomo, who was rejected by the Democrats in the primary and rejected by 13 women who charged you with sexual harassment. Do you ever know that no means no? You know what no means?
Dude, he knows consent. I just want Sliwa to put on his red beret and instead of like beating people up on the subway, go to colleges and high schools and do sex talks, talk about consent. When you gotta know that no means no. You gotta have enthusiastic consent. A shrug and a grunt is not enough, okay? Take it from me. I campaigned against Cuomo here.
Your question is to Mr. Mamdani.
The only reason that
They're like, you got one question for one of the candidates, and he's like, Zohran, you're only here because that guy over there's a rapist. What do you have to say for that, Zohran? He like was able to get the split spare with knocking one of the pins into the other.
Zohran is on the stage is because of the failed Governor Cuomo, who was rejected by the Democrats in the primary and rejected by 13 women who charged you with sexual harassment. Do you ever know that no means no? You know what no?
He started off by addressing Zohran, and he ends his one question actually was to Cuomo. Do you know that no means no?
No means.
Your question is to Mr. Mamdani. Who was your question
we can bifurcate it, right?
No. You can't.
We can bifurcate the questions. He knows he's not going to win. He's just having a great time up there, and you gotta respect that. Like, the man's politics, as racist as they are, as like old schooly racist as they are, look at his smug grin. The man is just having a great time up on the stage, just like kind of not even king-making, but like, being on good terms with Zohran while just decimating Cuomo.
Who's your question
It's to Cuomo.
Okay. Your response.
Okay, we have to run that back one more time.
Zohran, you talk about free.
We can bifurcate it.
We know that somebody's got to pay for it, and that's you, the taxpayers. And that's going to lead to bankruptcy. The only reason that Zohran is on the stage is because of the failed Governor Cuomo, who was rejected by the Democrats in the primary and rejected by 13 women who charged you with sexual harassment. Do you ever know that no means no? You know what no means?
Your question is to Mr. Mamdani. Who was your question
we can bifurcate it, right?
No. You can't. Who was your question
It's to Cuomo.
Okay. Your response, Mr. Cuomo.
I'm not sure what the man said, but the situation, my legal situation, as we discussed before, was fully litigated. I was dropped from the cases. If anyone has a legal situation to talk about, I think it's Mr. Sliwa, who runs the Guardian Angels, and apparently as a charitable donation, but never filed any tax returns for the Guardian Angels, and has been accepting charitable donations, which is just a crime and tax fraud. So I think that's the person who I was explaining to do.
Okay, your turn to ask a question, Mr. Cuomo.
To Zohran, I believe, as we've stated,
That was pretty weak, dude. Charity fraud? Welcome to America. You're not a real American unless you do charity fraud.
That you have been a divisive force in New York, and I believe that's toxic energy for New York.
Bro, he's running to be the mayor of New York. Yes. When you run to be the leader of a city, a state, a country, you're going to end up dividing the country because there's going to be an opposition vote against you.
It's with the Jewish community. It's with the Italian-American community when you give the Columbus statue the finger.
You're defending Columbus. Okay, I guess that's the second genocider that Cuomo's in favor of defending. Netanyahu and Columbus. Dude, oh my God. I'm sorry, man. Hold on. We need to look this up. Please, I don't want to get copyrighted. Christopher Columbus, Sopranos. It's so New York, man. And I know these guys are in Jersey, but still. You're disrespecting the Italians. Come on, play. Play, why don't ya? He gave a statue the finger. That I can't believe he's saying that. He didn't condemn Hassan Piker.
Oh, Massachusetts!
Like this is such prime meme material. You like put a article of Zohran giving Columbus the finger with Sal looking at it, or Silvio, not Sal.
Listen to this shit. The New Jersey Council of Indian Affairs has announced plans to disrupt Monday's Columbus Day Parade in Newark. Council Chairman Del Redclay, professor of cultural anthropology at
blowing your
Rutgers,
nose, I want to hear
says
this.
council members and supporters will lie down in the path of Columbus Day
Council members? Zohran?
marches, quote, in protest of Columbus's role in the genocide of America's native peoples, unquote. To launch their protest, the Native Americans and their sympathizers plan to begin a death watch tomorrow over the statue of Columbus in Christopher Columbus Park.
Some fucking balls bad-mouthing America, especially now.
I thought Columbus was the hero of America.
Oh, see, it's these Indians and the commie fucks. They want to paint Columbus as a slave trader instead of an explorer.
You gotta admit, they did get massacred, the Indians.
It's not like we didn't give them a bunch of shit to make up for that.
Land, reservations.
And now they got the casinos.
The fuck we ever get we didn't have to work our balls off for?
I won't mind sitting on my ass all day, smoking mushrooms and collecting government checks.
Okay. Anyway, you get the fucking idea. Dude, this was posted 11 years ago. I don't know when The Sopranos came out. Like, what, 15 years ago? In 2006. That's 19 years ago this shit came out. And Cuomo's still bringing this shit up like it's a political hit that he can do on Zohran?
It's with the Sunni Muslims when you say decriminalize prostitution, which is haram. It's the Hindus. But then...
Okay, I was not expecting that. You want to decriminalize prostitution, and that's a big issue with the Sunni Muslims. And just conservatives in general. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, Cuomo? I was not expecting that.
Take a picture with Rebecca Kadaga, Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda. You take the picture with your father. You're smiling. He's smiling. She's known as Rebecca Gay Killer Kadaga. You're a citizen of Uganda. You took the picture. You said you didn't know who she was. It turns out you did. How do you not?
You not only took a picture with Netanyahu, you defended Netanyahu on a global stage against war crimes.
Renounce your citizenship or demand BDS against Uganda for imprisoning people who are gay just by their sexual orientation. Isn't that a basic violation of human rights?
I think he gets the question.
My politics is consistent, and my politics is built on a belief in human rights for all people. And that extends to queer and trans New Yorkers, and it extends to queer and trans Ugandans. And had I known that the first deputy minister was the architect of that legislation, I would not have taken that photo. And yet I also know that this constant attempt to smear and slander me is an attempt to also distract from the fact that, unlike myself, you do not actually have a platform or a set of policies to protect those same New Yorkers here. All you have are the insults that you have lobbed at every single opportunity you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, yeah, he didn't know about the I guess the hate crimes against gay people that took place in Uganda, that the person he was taking a picture with was responsible for. Netanyahu was actively doing a genocide and was being investigated by the ICC when Cuomo signed on to defend him. How was Cuomo the one bringing this shit up?
No, that's it. Cross-examination is just a question and answer. Your turn to ask a question.
Mr. Cuomo, in 2021, 13 different women who worked in your administration credibly accused you of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, this is cinema. Aaron Sorkin can eat his heart out.
You sought to these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening. You sought to access her private gynecological records. She cannot speak.
The crowd is oohing and ahhing like they're at a Maury show.
Up for herself because you lodged a defamation case against her. I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
Oh my God, look at this frame, guys. Look at this frame. This is like a shot of the year right now. Like with all of the fascism coming from Donald Trump, the rape, the racism, the torture, the extrajudicial executions that we're seeing from this administration, you have a guy who's standing up for human rights, who's standing up for women's rights, talking directly to a guy who's been an affront to both of those things, defending a war criminal against the ICC, and sexually harassing 13 women with multiple employees, and then silencing them too. And then you have this frame right now with the audience cheering, hooting and hollering, and then Zohran just like mogging Cuomo as Cuomo looks like he just saw a ghost.
Can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
Dude, look at this image. Man, I gotta draw Cuomo. I gotta put Elden Ring on pause and start drawing again, because Cuomo has a fucking amazing face to draw.
If you want to be in government, then you have to be serious and mature. There were allegations of sexual harassment. They were then went to 5 district attorneys, fully litigated for 4 years. The cases were dropped, right? You know that as a fact. So everything you just stated, you just said was a misstatement, which we're accustomed to from you.
Stated was a misstatement?
Yes, because the cases were dropped. That's what happened. And my question:
you still had allegations. You still are silencing these women on threat of suing them for defamation. 13 allegations just because these cases were dropped against you doesn't mean that's all you have to say, right? You can't say like, I apologize for them or anything. Just because cases of sexual abuse weren't litigated in the court doesn't mean that it didn't happen, right? And obviously, like, there are rare instances where there's false accusations, but that is not the case here at all.
To you still didn't answer. Why won't you say BDS against Uganda for saying gays should be imprisoned for being gay? Okay. You have no problem with BDS against Israel, but no BDS for you.
Oh, it's because he's anti-Semitic. That's why. There we go.
Uganda. This is just one question, one answer. We all heard it. Thank you very much, candidates. Brian.
Our next topic is education. The next mayor will oversee the largest school system in the United States, as you know, with roughly 900,000 students, thousands of schools, and billions of dollars in budget. We have an education question for each of you. Mr. Mamdani, you said you would give up mayoral control of schools and share decision-making with various stakeholders. But in the last debate, you said you're still for mayoral accountability for educational outcomes. This has confused some people about how you can give up final authority but still hold yourself accountable. Can you try to clarify that?
I remain opposed to mayoral control, and I also believe that the mayor is accountable for that which happens in this city. I will not shirk that accountability, even when we are putting together a system that has greater involvement for parents, for educators, for students. Look, 1 in 300 Americans is a student in the New York City public school system. This is a system where we are failing to deliver excellence to students, to teachers, to parents, and it is time to have a mayor who understands not only the crisis in front of us, but the fact that we have to change our ways if we want to change our results. And that is what we are running on, a plan for the future, not to simply relitigate the past.
Mr. Sliwa, you recently proposed reducing the education budget by $10 billion, or about 25%, to help pay for tax cuts. But your website includes things like, quote, hire more therapists, expand services for students with learning differences, build new vocational high schools, restore arts programs, expand athletic programs, and increase teacher pay to attract and retain top talent. Those are all exact quotes from your website. How do you defund the education department by 25% to cut taxes, add in the Trump administration's various cuts, and do all those expansions at the same time?
Well, let me tell you, you have a bureaucracy at the Tweed Courthouse. Perfect place to house the Department of Education because of the corruption in the top ranks. You have 13 deputy chancellors. You have about 50 department heads. Nobody at the school level ever deals with them. $41,000 we pay per student, and teachers still have to reach into their pockets to pay for basic supplies. You cut at the top, contracts that have been negotiated, that have not been overseen. You will save millions and millions of dollars. And yes, you open up the schools as it was when I went to public school, after school center, night center, weekend center, not just sports, but culture, plays, musicals. People used to be able to take instruments home when they were in band and orchestra. That attracted children. 1/3 of our children don't even come to school.
Like, he's like, we need to invest in musical centers so that kids will want to come to school, but also I'm going to cut funding for the school system. Like, this is such an old man take. There's so much corruption at the top. We should be able to have children go to school for cheap. Like, we're going to cut funding and also increase the amount of like social workers and supplemental figures that are at the school. And just, I guess he's going to like try to root out corruption in the school system. Like, you can do both of those things. You can increase funding and try to, you know, trim the fat if you're talking about administration. Also, I feel like $40,000 per student isn't that expensive. I don't know, maybe it is.
Each day, and we need more vocational training like we had when I was growing up. That's been depleted, and more charter schools. We need to raise the cap and have more charter schools for the children who have been waiting to get in for years.
And Katie has an education question from Mr. Cuomo.
More charter schools? Yeah, I mean, are you serious right now?
Thanks, Brian. Mr. Cuomo, there's currently a state law to reduce class sizes in the city. You recently described the law as, quote, reckless, and proposed that popular schools be exempted from this law. You also want to start closing low-performing schools, one of the most controversial policies of Mayor Bloomberg. Would you defy the class size law, and if you close existing schools rather than work to improve them, what specifically helps the kids learn more and where?
Yeah, the common denominator on all these things is, the question is, what is your plan to change things, and what is your ability and experience to do it? These are management challenges, and I have managed large bureaucracies. The Department of Education, we lost 1 million students.
Yeah, but you didn't do any of the things that you're saying should be done here. Like, that's the thing. You want to talk about your management, and that's fine. You can talk about your management experience, but you were in charge of managing the very city that has all of the issues you're trying to address right now.
What's happening is young families have to make a decision when their child has to go to school. They're deciding to go to the suburbs, go to Jersey. They're not going to sacrifice their kid. So it is a terrible problem for the entire city. the shrinking public school system. I would double the gifted and talented programs, double the number of specialized high schools, keep the SAT, and keep mayoral control. It is wholly inconsistent to say, I think it's a top priority, but I want to give up mayoral control, but I want to be a mayor who runs grocery stores. Forget the grocery stores. Run the Department of Education. It was the most single instrumental reform. Mayor Bloomberg was right. The mayor in Boston and Chicago, don't give up mayoral control.
Would you defy the law, the class size law?
The problem with the class size law, it's a nice idea. The state didn't send the money. The state has not been doing its fair share for the city. If you have a nice idea, that's nice. Send the money.
And just a fact check, I don't think we lost 1 million students. We have just about under 1 million students in the DOE system, but just a quick show of hands.
I'm sorry, yes.
And just a show of hands, no talking. Who is in favor
No talking.
of the cell phone ban in schools? Raise your hands. Everyone
I'm
has
in
raised their
favor of
hands.
that.
They all are in favor of the cell phone ban. Thank you.
Okay. Candidates, I want to talk about Rikers Island. Under city law, the jail complex on Rikers is supposed to close in 2027. That's something that the next mayor is going to have to navigate. The population, however, has only gone up. It's surpassing 7,000 detainees.
Rikers Island needs to close. Like, that should be something. Of course, Sliwa's not going to be in favor of that, but I'm interested to see if Cuomo will be.
And a judge this year put Rikers on a path toward federal receivership. So here's the question. As mayor, will you commit to the closure of Rikers Island as required? And if not, what is your alternative plan? We'll start with you, Mr. Sliwa.
Number one, the architect for the closing of Rikers Island is on this stage. That's former Governor Andrew Cuomo. He was the first, and his apprentice is Zohran. No, you keep Rikers Island open. There are 7 functioning buildings, 3 others that need to be rehabbed. You can move those.
If people want to talk about expenses, Rikers Island is an insanely expensive thing to keep open. So, yeah, we're going to cut funds from schools, but we'll keep the prison island open.
Those who have mental health issues and give them the treatment they need as long as they're detained on Rikers Island. Some people do a year of time if they're given that in the courts rather than be shipped upstate. So there are a variety of inmates. We have allocated $8 billion for 4 community jails. The price tag is now up to $16 billion and will only house 4,000 of the 7,000. Guess what? We keep the inmates on Rikers Island and we turn those 4 units in the neighborhoods into affordable housing that we've all been clamoring for.
What about the law that requires the closing?
Oh, you go into court, you fight, fight, fight. You fight for the taxpayers and you fight to keep inmates on Rikers Island so that we don't just have to lock up toothpaste in New York City, but we lock up inmates.
Mr. Cuomo.
The Zohran has said he'd honor the law closing Rikers in 2027. You can't. You can't. Unless you intend to release all the people on Rikers Island, which is the Democratic Socialist policy. The county jails are not going to be built. It was a mistake. The whole plan was a mistake. They are years late, billions over budget. I would say scrap the county jails, build new jails on Rikers Island, provide ferry and bus transportation for people from the other boroughs to visit on Rikers Island, and then use the existing 4 sites for commercial residential. But you cannot close Rikers on 2027 because there's no place to put the people unless you're going to release 7,000.
Even with mistreatment, you're still paying for every prisoner getting fed 3 meals a day. I mean, yeah, they're talking about sending these prisoners upstate. First of all, a lot of, like Sliwa just said it himself, a lot of the reasons why people are in prison is because of mental health issues. Like, you can do more mental health initiatives to try to get these people out of prison. They're saying that, oh, it's people stealing toothpaste. That's what's like, we need to lock our toothpaste. That's how bad crime is. So we need to put all of the criminals over there. But once again, it's like affordability and mental health go hand in hand. If you are homeless, it's much easier for you to have poor mental health because you have less stability in your life. You have less access to treatment for mental health. And so really, like, helping people on the street is the solution for a lot of these issues.
People.
Well, you're familiar with the idea that a law is passed, it's supposed to be followed, even if it's difficult, even if the timeline is screwed up, even if the money's not there.
Yeah, so then, which is Zohran's position? Then you're saying release this.
Which is Zohran's position. Following the law is Zohran's position. Great campaign strategy from Andrew Cuomo.
7,000 people. And I'm saying I'm not going to release 7,000 criminals into New York City.
Mr. Mondani.
There is no one on this stage that is saying that. Yet Andrew Cuomo will repeat it again and again. What I have said time and again, I'll repeat it again, is that yes, we have to close Rikers Island. Rikers Island is a stain on the history of this city. And that this current administration has made it nearly impossible to do so by the stipulated timeline. So what I will do is everything in my power to try and meet that deadline, knowing that Eric Adams has made it so difficult because he's had no interest in actually following through on it. And as much as you will hear about experience and running a government, what Andrew Cuomo doesn't seem to understand is the city has already entered into contracts for these borough-based jails, and to end those contracts would be to incur massive fiscal penalties, but that's not something that he seems to care about, even as he speaks about the fiscal stewardship of this city.
If I may,
Nice.
You want to talk to me about running government or managing projects? I built the 2nd Avenue subway. I built the Mayoral Cuomo Bridge, the largest infrastructure project in the United States of America, $5 billion on time, on.
He said you didn't understand the minutia details of closing Rikers Island.
Budget. The 2nd Avenue subway, Moynihan Train Hall. Of course there's costs incurred. The question is going to be, how much more does it cost to finish the jail, and are you better off cutting your losses? That's the question in the discussion, and you sit down with the contractor and you negotiate. But your position of, I'm going to close it on 2027, the question is yes or no? Do you close it in 2027? You still haven't answered.
You will hear from Andrew Cuomo about his experience as if the issue is that we don't know about it. The issue is that we have all experienced your experience. The issue is that we experienced you taking a $5 million book deal while you sent seniors to their deaths in nursing homes. The issue is that we experienced you cutting funding for the MTA to send money to upstate ski resorts. The issue is that we saw you give 959.
Yeah, dude, Cuomo just cannot win this battle. He cannot win the I have more experience as Zohran. I have the record of being the governor. Because he left a disgrace. He left an absolute disgrace, and just these scandals are still following him. No one's forgotten about these scandals yet, and so whenever he brings up, "Oh, I have experience. I know how to do infrastructure projects," like Zohran can be like, "Okay, well, A, you didn't do them, and B, we've all seen your experience, and we don't like it. It was not good."
$1 million in tax breaks to Elon Musk. The issue is your experience.
No, the only thing. The issue is you have no experience. You've accomplished nothing. You haven't proposed a bill on anything, and you still haven't said if you'll close Rikers in 2027.
Stop. I got the answer to the questions I was asking. Thanks very much. Let's move on.
My next question is about another law that's already on the books. The city has a climate law, Local Law 97, that will require a large percentage of the buildings in the city to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2030 or face financial penalties. As you know, some co-ops, condos, and landlords are afraid of crushing expenses, but buildings account for 70% of the city's climate pollution emissions, so reduction would need to include that sector. You all have taken different positions on this. I want our viewers and listeners to hear each of you, starting with Mr. Cuomo in this case. Would you abide by and make others abide by Local Law 97 as it stands?
As it stands, you're going to have to be flexible in the application. What's going to happen now is many companies will just pay the fine because it's cheaper than actually following the rules. And that's the last thing you want. That accomplishes nothing, right? It's just another tax, in essence, on these units. So there's going to have to be flexibility. It's the right intent, it's the right goal, but how you implement it has to deal with reality and the costs. Again, otherwise, I can tell you, I've had this conversation with many of them. They're not even going to try. They're just going to pay the fine.
What kind of flexibility, if you could be
It's going to be
specific?
timing, and what do we mean, and can it be phased in?
Mr. Mamdani.
It's not very inspiring. Well, it's a complicated issue. I don't have a good response to that at this moment.
The climate
Not
crisis
super
is one of the
inspiring.
most pressing crises facing this city, and we deserve to take it on with the urgency it requires. It is right now easier to pay the fine than to actually comply with this legislation. We have to ensure that we make it easier for condo and co-op owners to follow these laws, and we do that by eliminating the application fees for J51, by extending that tax credit, by also creating a one-stop shop in New York City government that procures at a large scale heat pumps and the very kind of infrastructure needed to comply. We've seen this happen before with clean energy work that's been done in Woodside houses. It's time to bring that kind of work right here so that we can ensure full compliance with Local Law 97.
I read that you're proposing the city buy those heat pumps and other tech in bulk and give them to landlords and other buildings for free. Is that accurate?
No, it's to actually ensure that they can afford the cost of these things by purchasing using an economy of scale.
Thank you. Mr. Sliwa.
I'm the only one on this stage totally opposed to Local 97. 100,000 condo and co-op owners. Their maintenance fees will go up 30%. They won't have enough reserve fees. You're going to see massive flight from the co-ops and condos. Now, they want to electrify everything. Well, there's a man on the stage who took Indian Point offline. That was 25% of our electrical output. We haven't been able to meet the need since. And as a result, they're now starting to build, because of the city of yes that I'm opposed, these lithium-ion battery warehouses. Where? Staten Island 38, Brooklyn 12. 8 in Queens, 4 in the Bronx, and none in Manhattan? Oh, no. They're going to electrify, and they don't have the electrical output. So I say no to Local 97. And when I'm mayor, I tell all my commissioners, throw a monkey wrench into the process. We slow it down because we...
I do love how he's just saying, we're going to sabotage the laws. People made laws, we're going to absolutely sabotage them, because why exactly? It's just too there. It's like he doesn't believe in climate change. The laws just don't work. He doesn't like the solution from the laws, but effectively it is just, yeah, these laws that the city council passed, I'm going to completely sabotage them.
We want these condo owners and co-op owners to stay.
Mr. Cuomo, you were name checked on Indian Point?
I think I was. Indian Point was a danger. It was the nuclear power plant most closely located to the densest population. There was no nuclear plant on the globe that close to a city. There were 20 million people in what was called the kill zone.
Oh, the dense. I thought he said the dentist population. I'm like, were there a lot of dentists that lived next to it? No, the densest population. Okay, that makes more sense.
Before I became Attorney General, there had been a number of lawsuits to stop it. What we did is we brought cables down from upstate New York, down the Hudson River. We have nuclear upstate. We're in rural areas to bring that nuclear power down the cables, and then on that basis substitute for Indian Point's power.
Yes or no?
Electricity rates are too high to pay because of you, Andrew
Just
Cuomo.
yes or
Yeah,
no?
like you
Would
know
any
what
of
you're
you
talking
support
about.
new nuclear power plants to help bring down the rising cost of utilities in New York State? Just yes or no, Mr. Sliwa?
Upstate, they're already starting, yes.
Mr. Mondani?
I think it's something worth exploring.
Mr. Cuomo?
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Katie?
We're going to move on now to the economy. Donnie, you're proposing to raise the city's minimum wage to $30 an hour by 2030. How would you get the state legislature to go along with your plan? And do you think it's realistic to feel that a small business owner would have to pay every employee this amount, especially when the city currently doesn't mandate that figure for its own public employees? And I have separate questions for Mr. Sliwa and Mr. Cuomo.
So this would be something where the city would have to start doing so as well, because any law that we want New Yorkers to follow, the city should be following it itself. And the reason that we put forward $30 by 2030 is that that's the minimum that a New Yorker needs to be paid to be able to afford to live in this city. And what we are looking at right now is the possibility of the place that we know and love becoming a museum of where working class people used to be able to live. Our proposal that we've put forward would be phased in over a longer period of time for small business owners to ensure that they could deal with this. And it's also one that we are confident we would be able to accomplish because of the fact that we are seeing from New Yorkers time and time again, the absence of it is pushing them to live in Jersey City, to live in Pennsylvania, to live in Connecticut, because they can't afford to live in New York City.
Thank you. And for Mr. Sliwa and Mr.
Yeah, this is just one of those policies that's like unavoidable. Supporting the minimum wage, yeah, that's like that is just necessary. So it'll be interesting. Are they going to be like, oh, I don't support a minimum wage, or are they just going to say $30 is too high?
Cuomo, if you're not in favor of a $30 minimum wage, what are your plans to raise the salaries of workers in New York City? We'll start with you, Mr. Sliwa.
First off, Zohran Mondani deals with fantasy, not reality. Look at all the Uber.
He's like, $30 is the minimum needed to live in New York City. He's like, that's completely fantastical.
Drivers, look at all the taxi drivers, the Lyft drivers. They will now have driverless cars. That's what they're pushing. AI that's going to be wiping out so many jobs, especially for young men and women who went to school, got their 4 years of college, 2-year degree, and they're making $155,000, and then they get wiped out. You know what the corporate sector is going to do. They're going to bring in robotics. Zohran, stop dealing with fantasy and start dealing with reality. You're pushing businesses out because you want to tax them. I'm the only one here who wants to...
You just said the businesses are going to stay. They're just going to turn into robot businesses. They're not going to employ as many humans anymore. And then you're like, you're pushing out businesses?
Cut the corporate taxes, the income tax, the property tax we can cut in order to keep business here. But if you raise the minimum wage too high, they're going to end up going in a different direction, and they're not going to hire workers. It's going to be robots and driverless cars and AI, and I'm opposed to that.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, I half agree with Curtis. There is, Zohran does have socialist theory colliding with practical reality.
Minimum wage is not social. Like, minimum wage is as socialist as America is, dude. We have a federal minimum wage in this country. You can't be like, oh, Zohran wants a minimum wage, so he wants a livable wage as the minimum wage. That's socialist theory.
I went through this. We raised the minimum wage to the highest in the United States of America. New York set the bar. We set it at $15. Every other state said, that's crazy when we did it. People in the state said that was crazy when we did it. But it was calibrated. It was doable. We phased it in different parts of the state. We phased it in with small businesses. We gave them assistance. Because if you raise it too high, and I believe 30 is too high, I would raise it to 20. If you raise it to too high, you do two things. People lose their jobs. You bankrupt the businesses. You're talking about basically doubling payroll. And you can have a negative effect where literally businesses close and people lose their jobs. And overall, again, it's another tax on corporations, another reason to leave New York, another reason to pack up the family and get on I-95 and go to South Carolina and Florida and Texas.
Bro, you're saying that paying people money is a reason to leave New York. He's not listening to, ooh, another scythe? Okay, I'm into that. He's not listening to what he's saying. Andrew Cuomo wants people to stay in New York City, ostensibly. Zohran says $30 is the minimum wage that people need in order to afford to stay in New York City. And then he's like, if you give people $30, then that's going to force people out of the city. No, it's not. It's literally the opposite. That's going to keep more people in the city. What he's talking about is business owners. What he's talking about are his donors that are giving him money to try to defeat Zohran because they don't want this policy to happen because it would mean they get less money. They have to pay their workers more. That's why Cuomo's getting paid by billionaires. That's why, like, Peter Ackerman is panicked when Zohran won the primary, and he's like, "Is it too late to run a candidate of my choosing? That I just feel like I can fund myself because I'm a billionaire? I have the right to." Like, it's absolutely delusional. When Cuomo talks about people, he means billionaires. He means his donors. That's all that he means. When Zohran talks about people, he is actually talking about people. He's talking about people that live everyday lives in New York City that need to be paid more money in order to stay there.
Candidates, we are coming down the home stretch. I want to alert our media
Cuomo's campaign did AI ads. Why am I not surprised?
partners, especially. We're going to go over by 5 minutes, and we're going to have Brian lead a conversation about transit.
Right, and we're going to have to do this very briefly to each of you because you each have transit things to answer to. Mr. Cuomo, you say the city should take partial control of New York City transit away from the MTA, which is mostly controlled by the state. Would the city then have to foot more of the bill? And if this is a good idea, why didn't you propose it as governor?
The capital, first of all, New York City owns the New York City Transit Authority, not the MTA. It leases the trains and subways to the MTA. And then the question is the division of responsibility. New York City does the safety along with the MTA. The problem the MTA is having is the capital construction projects. It has been an ongoing problem. I came in, I took over Moynihan and finished it. I came in and took over Second Avenue Subway, the L train tunnel. The capital construction projects are way overdue.
Would it fall more on the city to pay?
I would say no. There is a budget set. My only point is the MTA, which is a labyrinth bureaucracy set up by Rockefeller, which should have never been done in the first place. It's an overwhelming task for the greatest managers, and I hire both of them. But let the city manage the capital construction from the MTA budget.
Mr. Mamdani, make your case briefly for your proposal for free buses for everybody, even those who can afford to pay.
You know, first I'll just say that one of the most celebrated leaders of the New York City Transit was Andy Byford, who had such a terrible experience working under Andrew Cuomo that he would rather work under Donald Trump right now. The proposal that we have put forward addresses the fact that today, in the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 1 in 5 New Yorkers cannot afford the bus fare. It would cost $700 million a year to make the slowest buses in the country fast and free. And by doing so, we would generate more than double in economic revenue for New Yorkers across the city. It would be something that would reduce assaults on bus drivers, it would increase ridership on those buses, and it would actually have environmental impacts as fewer New Yorkers would drive their own car or take a taxi and would instead get on the bus. And I know all of this because I delivered it as a state assembly member who won the first free buses in New York City's history.
And Mr. Sliwa, your website, according to my reading, has a section on transit safety, but nothing on transit service. Do you have any core proposals for improving it?
Oh, sure. First off, Zohran. I get a good belly laugh.
Zohran, bro.
Oh, all right. I'll keep practicing.
I got you.
I get a...
Like, dude, just the casual racism of your grandparents coming out in Sliwa every time he opens his mouth. Zohran. It's pronounced Zohran. Okay, I'll keep practicing. It's a little bit of a foreign name. You gotta admit, it's difficult to say. It's 2 syllables.
Good belly laugh every time I hear you say free fare in the subways. Half the people don't pay anyway. How about fair enforcement? I'm the only one who says we have all kinds of fair programs for the indigent and the poor. But if you don't pay your fare, there needs to be enforcement. And by the way, I've taken the subway almost every day of my life since I was 5. The worst time was the summer of 2017, the summer of hell, Andrew Cuomo,
You're right,
when
Curtis.
you were running the subway system as the head of the MTA. I don't trust you with anything to do with mass transit.
How would you make it better?
Oh, very simply. Everybody pays their fare, enforcement, more cops in the subway system. And by the way, we can get more people to voluntarily actually sponsor their subway system stations, clean it up, and beautify them. And
Bro, Slee was so fucking funny. All of his solutions involve police and volunteering. It's literally just like, I want the guardian angels to run all of New York. Education system failing? We'll put more police in the schools and get or no, it wasn't education system. He said we're going to clean up the corruption in the education system while also cutting funding and funding charter schools. That was the one instance where it wasn't just we'll put guardian angels there. He's like, homeless shelters filling up. We'll have teachers volunteer there on their weekends, and we'll put more police there to make them safer. We're gonna make the shelter sit better for people. He's like, busing. We're gonna. Oh God. He's like, what are you gonna do for transit? We're gonna charge people that we're gonna put more police so they pay their bus fare, and then we're gonna have volunteers there so that it's actually enforced. Okay, like
some life so the community has input into the subway that they have to go through the sleaze and slime all the time.
All right, candidates, we've got just a couple of minutes. Let's have another quick lightning round where each candidate will answer my questions with a quick response, usually yes or no.
It's all guardian angel shit with it.
Name one person you'd like to see run for president in 2028, Mr. Sliwa.
Wow, in 2028. Man, I'm dealing right now with 2025.
Mr. Mamdani.
My only focus is on November.
Mr. Cuomo.
I haven't thought it through.
Okay. We have a city of hundreds of languages and cultures. Can you greet New Yorkers in a language other than your own? Mr. Cuomo.
Ciao. Buenos dias.
Ni hao, 我的朋友.
Okay.
Buona fortuna.
Zohran ain't beating the weeb allegations.
Okay. Have you decided on a school's chancellor, Mr. Sliwa?
Yes, I would ask Bob Holden, who's taught 40 years. He leads Democrats for Sliwa.
Okay. Mr. Mamdani.
No, I haven't decided on a chancellor as yet.
No. Okay. Should people be arrested for the solicitation of sex, Mr. Sliwa?
No. The Johns, yes. The pimps, the madams, and the absentee landlords.
Okay. Mr.
Cuomo, it's haram to prostitute the sacred temple, which is the body. So yes, of course they should.
Mamdani.
No.
Mr. Cuomo.
Zohran's decriminalization for prostitutes, johns, and pimps would be a disaster on the quality of life in New York City.
They should be arrested, you say? Should people be arrested for soliciting sex?
It is a criminal offense. I would keep it as it is.
Okay. Last question. Can you name one thing that New York got right during the COVID crisis? Mr. Sliwa.
New York got right? Oh, wow. He didn't get anything right during the COVID crisis. No.
Mr. Mamdani.
It only took me 15 minutes to get my vaccine shot when I went for that, and that was an efficient experience.
Mr. Cuomo.
Thank you for the compliment.
That was a city-run vaccine.
All right,
No,
gentlemen.
it wasn't.
Thanks so
Did he
much,
run
gentlemen.
vaccine
That is gonna
You
do
still
it
have to learn some.
for this debate. I would like to thank the candidates and our partners and all of you at home. If you missed any part of this debate, you can watch it in its entirety at ny1.com and the Spectrum News YouTube channel.
Dude, that was pretty good.
Early voting is set to begin across the 5 boroughs on Saturday, with several other races on the ballot as well, including city controller, public advocate, the 5 borough presidents and members of the city council, as well as 6 ballot initiatives. There's some district attorney races as well. Election day is November 4th. Thank you all for watching. Have a great evening.
That was a pretty good debate. Okay, I've been going for a while, but I am curious to get some reactions to this. And you know we got to go with Fox News NYC debate. What do we got? Sparks fly at Cuomo. Top 5 moments from the fiery debate. To be fair, it wasn't that testy.
I believe, as we've stated, that you have been a divisive force.
No. They don't even have anyone talking about it. John Katsimatidis calls Mamdani a clear and present danger to New York. Okay, because of the Johns on the street.
And there's only one other debate. You got socialist Zohran.
Oh, this was from the last debate. Sure, let's hear it.
Mamdani, 33 years old. You got independent Andrew Cuomo, Republican Curtis Sliwa clashing head to head.
Sliwa's wife talks about Israel.
Over the cost of living, Israel, and crime. Watch.
I've said very clearly, making buses fast and free costs about $700 million a year. Making universal child care a reality costs about $5 or $6 billion a year. If you raise the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey, you'd be raising $5 billion in and of itself.
Well, Zohran, boy, your fantasies are never going to come about in terms of funding everything you want that's going to be free. It's a fantasy. Let's deal with the reality.
The Assemblyman's whole plan is based on a myth. He said he's going to raise the taxes the same as New Jersey, corporate tax. No, it would be double the tax. You would see New Yorkers on I-95 fleeing to Florida.
So that's just a slice of the debate, and there's so much on the line as we might be electing a socialist / communist mayor in New York City. He's up by 20 in some of the recent polls. Joining us now, good friend of the show.
They're so scared, guys.
In New York City on WABC, and John Catsimatidis, one of America's finest businessmen. His diversity includes grocery chains, Christie's, D'Agostino's, as well as president of Red Apple Media. Welcome to both you guys. Great to have you here. John, from what you could tell, did Cuomo and Sliwa do enough to stop the momentum of Mamdani?
I don't think so. I think we were both at the Al Smith dinner night, so I watched it afterwards. The fact was, I don't know. Look, Curtis is a friend of mine for 40 years. Why is he attacking Cuomo? The enemy of this entire situation is Mamdani. That I think Curtis should have been Mamdani because he is the, how do you say it? Clear and present danger.
Dude, these people don't understand.
He's a Democrat, and the real Democrat in the thing is Cuomo. So if you have 70% Democrats in New York City, well, they should be voting for the Al Smith.
Why is he attacking Cuomo? You just said, why is the Republican attacking the real Democrat?
In the nights I watched it afterwards. The fact was, I don't know. Look, Curtis is a friend of mine for 40 years. Why is he attacking Cuomo? The enemy of this entire situation is Mamdani. That I think Curtis should have been attacking Mamdani because he is the, how do you say it? Clear and present danger. Cuomo, he's a Democrat, and the real Democrat in the thing is Cuomo. So if you have 70% Democrats in New York City, well, they should be voting for Cuomo versus voting for Mamdani.
So take a look at the poll, Sid.
Why are they bringing this man on to analyze the election when he doesn't even know the guy's name? And he's like, 70% of New York is Democrats, and Cuomo's the real Democrat, so they should be voting for him. They did a primary? Like, this is such dumb analysis. It's literally, they did a primary and they elected Zohran. The Democrats elected Zohran. That's who they chose to represent them. And do these Republicans just not understand what a primary is or what polling is? Like, I'm so confused by this analysis. It's completely just departed from reality rambling.
Going in here, 52%. Mamdani's numbers went up. Cuomo's at 28. Sliwa at 14. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with John. You know, there was no knockout punch. And the truth is, Curtis and Andrew, they need a knockout punch. They didn't get it. Mamdani's good to go here. He's up by so much that he could just kind of skate the rest of the way. I can tell you this. I hate Mamdani, okay?
Okay. Okay, dude. Okay, thanks for being honest. I can tell you this. I think he's a dirty rat. I think he's a Jew hater, and did you see the color of his skin? Did you who's talking with them right now?
Categorized him as a terrorist.
Welcome to being us now. Good friend of the
Brian Kilmeade? Is that him? And Brian, listen. I fucking hate the guy. I think he's scum of the earth. He wants to bring about global jihad and he wants to do Sharia law. I mean, the guy is just un-American and unhuman. It's ridiculous.
the show, Sid Rosenberg. Number one.
How do you say it? Clear Democrat and the real Democrat, Mondami.
So take a look at the polls.
And the truth is, wait, he's up by so much that he could just kind of skate the rest of the way. I can tell you this, I hate Mamdani, okay? I've categorized him as a terrorist, a jihadist, a socialist, a communist, and a Marxist. Those are not 5 nice words, Brian, okay?
Bro, I was joking. He actually just he's a terrorist. Oh my god. I thought he was gonna just stop at saying I hate Mamdani, but no. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit.
I hate him. I hate him even more after watching him last night.
And it gets to him, doesn't it?
It does get to him. He's
Brian. Yo, brown guy on my screen. I can't stand it. The man in New York, are you kidding me, Brian? Every moment I see him, I fucking despise him. I spit on my TV. I have to clean it up afterwards. It's just too much. It's too much. Too much M's, too much A's, too many vowels. We need to have a clean one vowel word like John or Tom. Come on. This is ridiculous. What, a Z in a name? I gotta know someone's name now, Brian.
mentioned me in a Vulture magazine.
These fucking foreigners coming into my city. It's insane. They parody themselves. I literally was making a parody of the guy. I click play, and he does the exact same thing that I just said.
Magazine article. He's done an 18-minute mock debate, Rosenberg against Mamdani. I'm not even running. But these guys need a knockout punch, and neither one delivered that punch on Thursday night.
They should have called him a dirty jihadist. They didn't. They didn't. And the furthest they got was he doesn't condemn Hamas. But come on, just call him a terrorist. They needed that knockout punch, but they didn't get it.
Do you think anything's going to change, John? Do you think that Curtis gets out? Do you think that Cuomo gets out? What has to happen?
Cuomo's not getting out. But like I said, the real Democrat in the function is Cuomo. And it's not Mondami. Mondami is a socialist. And people should realize that they're not voting for a Democrat. Just because he won the Democratic primary doesn't mean he's a Democrat.
Just because he won the Democratic primary doesn't mean he's a Democrat.
Socialism hit Venezuela. Me and Curtis were in Cuba. The people in Cuba are starving to death. The people in Venezuela are starving to death. The Mondami is not the way to go for a city like New York City. Curtis, look, he's a Republican, and that's fine. But if Curtis loves New York, that if he doesn't see a path to winning by the next week or so.
These are the human versions of the two old Muppets. They actually just look like, I don't know, they look like some kind of adult animation when they need to make a caricature of a Republican pundit. These two guys who, one has an insane spray tan, the other guy's the slimiest businessman you can possibly conjure up an image of in your head. He's like a social construct of a corrupt businessman. He goes on Fox News, completely departed from reality, has no relevant experience about anything that's going on. The world's passed him by, and he's like, but Cuomo's the Democrat. They say Mamdani's the Democrat, but it's Cuomo that's the Democrat. He said that about 4 times now. That's all he has to say. These guys are jokes. They're jokes.
If he doesn't see a path to winning, then at that point you say, I love New York more than I love running, and give it up.
Even though you're great friends with him for 40 years, you would tell Curtis, give it up.
That's my advice to him as his friend.
Right. Sid, You go
So
to
would I, by
Israel,
the way. And I love Curtis. He's on my show every week.
You want him to drop out?
I think if the numbers don't improve by next week, it's hard to ask a guy who's the only Republican candidate, like he said, a guy that's raised, he's got $2-3 million cash right now. $2-3 million cash, let's be honest, okay? But the truth is, if the numbers stay the same, he should drop out.
All right, so let's talk about Israel. We know that it looks like a positive result thanks to President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu's indefatigable push to get rid of all his enemies. But we look in America right now, we look at the polls.
What the fuck are these guys going to tell you on Israel? I'm so curious.
And they only have, in terms of the next generation, Republicans and Democrats, only 30% approval in some of these polls for Israel. What happened to the perception of Israel for the next generation, Sid?
That's part of the reason why Mamdani's doing so well. You know this, Brian and John. It's become chic in New York to hate the Jews. It's chic. That's why he's doing well.
Dude, they're straight out of The Sopranos. It's a chic thing to hate the Jews. I don't understand it, but like the anti-Semitism is just off the charts. Oh, dude, he was on Fox. Curtis Lee was on Fox News. It's so funny. Can you explain to me why young Americans hate Israel so much? It's shocking. I don't get it. Netanyahu's indelible push to eliminate his enemies, like, yeah, it's just that's why Zohran's doing so good, because he takes a popular position and he hates on the Jews. Dude, there's no one. Say it with me, everyone. There are Nazis in this country. It is debatable whether the Nazis are more anti-Semitic than the Zionists, right? And that's an overlapping thing. There are Nazis and there are Zionists, and then there are Nazi-Zionists. Like, Zionism is a crazy form of anti-Semitic ideology. Every time I see a Zionist, they reinforce that in my mind.
Look, it's media. The media is very bad to Israel and the Jewish people, very bad. They know that President...
The media is bad to Israel and the Jewish people. You're on the media right now, bro.
Trump loves us. He fights for the Jewish people. He fights for Israel. President Trump. So now they've turned that to Israel. You look at your social media, TikTok, for example.
The algorithm.
They're showing Gaza while the guy's like, the media is very bad to the Jewish people.
Yes, I was in
This is
London
like a
and Paris
dystopian
with
joke.
my children. My son Gabriel, he's on TikTok, and the first thing that pops up is a video of a Palestinian being killed by an Israeli. He didn't even ask for that video. It just popped up.
That's so another.
My son's on their TikTok and they see Palestinians getting blown up by Israelis. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. That's the media. He thinks TikTok videos showing Palestine. First of all, I don't even think that's true, man. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. Do you, chat, let me know. Do you get recommended out of the blue videos of Palestinians getting killed by Israelis on TikTok? Is that something that you experience? That's a narrative I hear. And like, I see people talking about Israel, Palestine. I see people addressing Zionists, but I don't see just like random graphic footage. And I hear that all the time from conservatives. Yeah, it's like, on TikTok, my kid, he just sees a Palestinian getting blown up and they hate Israel because of it. Yeah, okay, good job, bro. Yes, because Israel's doing a genocide and normal people don't like genocide. My mom told me that when California got their first black senator, my grandma was so mad and writing letters to all the newspapers. Yeah. Good old fashioned racism from your grandparents. It really does like take me back to when I was a child, seeing Sliwa being like, we have to defend the dogs and the cats, but not those dirty immigrants that come into New York.
Problem with TikTok, John, what's going on with anti-Semitism in America, even some Republicans in the next generation? I don't get it.
Well, it's not anti-Semitism.
His bar mitzvah. Like, dude, his son might actually just be pro-Palestine, and then when his dad sees his phone, he's like, what are you watching? I don't know, Dad. It just showed up on my phone. I can't control it. It's the algorithm. He's like, that damn media. It's the media that's against it, while he's literally a Fox News contributor.
Alone is some people are full of hate. And see, I don't go against just anti-Semitism. I go.
Dude, The guy sitting right next to you is like, I hate Zohran. He's a jihadist. And now you're like, some people are just full of hate.
No, I'm against hate.
Look, the Republicans in the next generation, I don't get it.
Well, it's not anti-Semitism alone. Is some people are full of hate. And see, I don't go against just anti-Semitism. I'm against hate.
Well, look, the final thought is President Trump is, and I know you're watching right now, Mr. President, I love you. I couldn't love you any more than I do.
I guarantee you Trump is not watching these two knuckleheads babble on and on about why everyone hates Israel. This man's ego is insanely inflated. He's like, and Donald, I know you're watching, and I love you for it, and I hope that I look good for you. I match my skin toner to yours just so that we can have this connection between the two of us. Donald Trump is not watching your fucking geriatric ass hobble into the tanning booth and squeeze into your too tight of a suit for this Fox News appearance. What the fuck do you mean Donald Trump is watching you?
I don't go against just anti-Semitism. I'm against hate.
Well, look, the final thought is President Trump is, and I know you're watching right now, Mr. President, I love you. I couldn't love you any more than I do. What you pulled off was a miracle. Our hostages are home. You put a peace deal together. Do I think Hamas will abide by it? I doubt it, but that's not your fault. Thank you, President Trump, for a job well done.
Yeah, how about the Arab world?
First of all, why can't these guys look at the camera? Second of all, if Trump puts together a peace deal, it is his fault if the peace deal falls apart. That means it was a bad peace deal. You need to have assurances. You need to have steps towards actual peace. Yes, that's quite literally his fault. He's the architect of the deal, bro.
Goes in there and settles it down. They're supposed to provide the peacekeeping force. Great to see you guys. You too. No wonder WABC is such a success. Great job.
Wow. Fox News. Okay, anyway, there will be more reactions to this tomorrow. What time is it, boys? You know what, guys? I was going to also cover some of the Ethan Klein stuff, but I might have to do that tomorrow. But there was a motion to quash filed, and then on the response to the motion to quash from like the H3 Snark moderators towards Ethan Klein, and so there's a whole drama going on there. Let's see, what do we got? What's my Reddit for you page? Smiling friends. Dude, what is going on with Greg Plattner anyway? Is this guy just a Nazi? Is this guy an actual Nazi right now? Well, yeah, I wanted to look at this too. Gavin Newsom. What is this podcast? He repeats, it's interesting. Gavin Newsom. Zionist Dem leader Gavin Newsom struggles to speak after podcast host brings up AIPAC. We're going to have to try to watch this podcast tomorrow. Cover this. This is hilarious. This is so funny. Hot girls for Cuomo. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. You guys need your sleep too. That took a long time to cover that debate. You can't accuse us of content stealing on this stream. I had like 2 hours of that. So guys, thanks for watching. If you're in New York, go out and vote. Go out, get your friends to vote too. And yeah, hopefully we can this election cycle has been fun, but I am going to be a little bit easier when Zohran actually gets into power. And then the real fun begins. Seeing Zohran get attacked by Fox News, get attacked by Donald Trump daily about the things that he's trying to achieve. And seeing how all of this plays out is going to be fascinating, because if Zohran Mamdani can actually achieve half of the things that he's promising or vowing to push for, he could really reorient the Democratic Party in a direction that has him and his policies and his ideas at the helm of the party. So it'll be really cool. This really is a pivotal and important election for this country. Anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for all the green names in chat. Thank you for all of the gray names in chat. And for those silent watchers, thank you too. I'm out of here, and everyone have a great rest of your evening. Talk to you later. Bye.